Hello and welcome to the 39th edition of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon, an event that started back in 1983. Such humble beginnings then, when to get your bike into transition, you lent it against a tree. This time around, people are queuing up a day before, getting a position ready for the big event on Sunday, which is the biggest Olympic distance mass participation triathlon in the world. This is Super Saturday, and it's a big one with some of the current greats of Australian sport and a few whose birth certificate indicates that their best years were behind them, but they are absolute legends. Matthew Keenan with you, joined by the voice of triathlon in Australia, Pete Murray. This is a big event, and it's already been a pretty big week for you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone. It's the highlight of the year. We all come back to Noosa. 39 years we've been here, and we've got another Super Saturday coming on up, and we are really looking forward to what will be an epic performance for all of our athletes. Super Saturday is live.
The Super Saturday, it all kicks off with the women's criterium, the Australian Open criterium, and it's an event that was started by Garth Proud, the man who got this whole thing started back in 1983. After that, we've got an opportunity to take a look at the likes of Susie O'Neill, Matt Rogers. We've got the Sunshine Coast Lightning team in the netball. That's a triathlon for the legends, which Craig Mottram's going to be participating in. And when we spoke to Craig on Thursday night, he said people cheated in that triathlon, and one of them was Reedy.
I know, and Reedy's going to be joining us as commentator, and he's also going to be running as well in this Legends Triathlon. It's going to be epic. We've got about 8 or 9 teams. They're filled, as you said, with Olympic athletes, Australian champions, world champions, and we can't wait for that one.
Then after that, we've got the ASICS Bolt. This is 5 kilometres. We've got Genevieve Gregson is back, and she'll be having a chat with Craig Mottram before it gets started. Craig has won this event in the past. He's the Australian record holder for 5 kilometres on the road, so he knows what he's talking about. He'll be commentating, not running. He will be in the Legends Try. But amongst those that are going to be racing, Jack Rayner recently breaking the Australian 10K record. But 60 years of age, Steve Monaghetti. Monas is out there again, racing at 60.
Yeah, of course. Steve Monaghetti, 4 times Olympic athlete, 4 times Commonwealth Games, world champion extraordinaire, is in Noosa. He's ready for the Bolt. He's trying to break the 60-plus age group record. He needs to pump out around a 16:28. He's in good shape, Matty. He's ready to rock and roll, and fingers crossed that we are going to see a world record here at the ASICS Bolt on Super Saturday.
So to give that a little bit of context, how fast that is for Mona at 60. It was his birthday at the end of September. What's that, around 3 minutes and 20 per kilometre? I'll be happy with one of those at 47.
Mate, if I could do one at 52, I'd be happy.
We all would be.
Yeah, Steve Monaghetti, I mean, he's synonymous. He spoke so beautifully at our official launch on Thursday night, Matt. He speaks well, he races well, and he's just a true gentleman, and we're looking forward to seeing Monas. Plus Jack Rayner, I really am pumped. He had a big race in Burnie last week. He broke the 10K record with just over 27 minutes for 10K. He's a current 5K record holder as well, and also the 10,000 metre track, fastest of all time. So he's going to spark up his course.
He's quick. And then it all closes out, kicking off at 4:45 local time with the men's criterium, which is 45 minutes plus 3 laps. In amongst the starters there, we have Jared Drisners, who this year won the King of the Mountains classification at the Tour of Poland. We've got Craig Wiggins, no relation to Bradley Wiggins, recently won a stage at the Tour of Langkawi. Blake quick by name, quick by nature, the Australian under-23 champion with Bike Exchange next year. And Alex Edmondson, triple world champion on the track. He's won the team's pursuit, the individual pursuit, Olympic silver medalist as well. He's going to be pretty tough to beat. But the action's already been going, Pete, and a lot of it was underway yesterday. We had the 2 times U ocean swim, 1,000 metres worth of swimming. Kai Hurst didn't swim. He's only won it 10 times. He wanted to share with somebody else.
Yeah, Kai Hurst, the gentleman that he is, 10 times, as you said, Matty, the Noosa 1000 swim champion. Yesterday morning, we had 1,500 people down on Noosa Beach for the ASICS Noosa Breakfast Fun Run. 1,500 people dressed in pink. And Glenn McGrath, we raised money for the McGrath Foundation. The man himself, one of Australia's best ever bowlers, was in the house, did it with his daughter, and it was a very epic weekend. What about this morning, though, Matty?
Before before that, go back to Friday morning, we did the Tour de Proud, the Garth Proud Tour. That was a fantastic ride. I got to do that. And the best part of it was the coffee at the end from First Batch up in the Expo. Had a chance to take a look around the Expo as well. But this morning was one of my highlights, and it is the Super Kids Triathlon. There's the very special kids as well, which is some kids with a few physical challenges, a couple of intellectual challenges for some as well. And both of our daughters got to be chaperones, buddies with them. But my highlight, Pete, was none of that. It was you leading the warm-up for the kids and say Geronimo.
Oh, yeah, you got to, the old time, and Geronimo comes back. But we did have the Noosa Super Kids try. 900 plus children from 7 to 13 years of age. They threw the laptops away. They threw the technology away. They got out there and came out. They ran and they rode and had a lot of fun. The Tinjarana special try, as said, absolute one of the highlights of the weekend. To see the joy, Maddie, on their faces, it's absolutely epic. And this is the start of Super Saturday. And
what we hope that we get, at some point, we get one of the kids that's participated in the Super Kids Triathlon comes through and wins the Elite Triathlon. Ash Gentle, that we're going to talk to shortly, along with Luke Willian, who are the defending champions. Ash tells the story about competing here as a junior, and she was second behind your wife as a junior on one occasion?
Wife's a bit of an exaggeration,
so,
but partner.
Well, you got life partner and you've got kids together, so you've made a bigger commitment than marriage.
Oh, g'day to Caroline, she's watching. Right now, thanks, Maddie. But tomorrow, Maddie, we roll into the 39th edition. This is a race that's iconic, not just in Australia. It's renowned around the world. It's one of the top 10 races. It's a must-do race for thousands and thousands over this weekend.
Yeah.
13,000 people are here in Noosa, so it's triathlon heaven. It started by the legend himself, Garth Proud, as you said, in 1983. 180 people, no transition, no helmets weren't even compulsory. It was just get out there, have a fun, and get across. And now, 39 years, 13,000 more people.
A lot has changed, hasn't it, in that time? And one of the highlights for me is watching all the age groupers go through, smiling for Smitty, the fundraising they do for the Martyr Foundation. It's a fantastic event. Last year, the event was on. I didn't get to come here for it.
Same.
Unfortunately, because of the challenges that we had right around the globe with COVID. But it was a race that went ahead, and it was won in style. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from 2021. Well, Noosa, it certainly is the place to be. Pete, you and I, we weren't here last year. We missed it, so we got to see some of the highlights. These two are here. Luke, Ash, the winners. You for the first time, Luke, but Ash, number 8, just a little greedy. Any chance you can give somebody else a go this year?
I don't really want to.
I love that answer. What's it mean to you to have won this event so many times, to hold the record?
Yeah, it's really special. I guess this year will be my 11th individual Noosa start. So, yeah, I definitely always want to come back each year. I started when I was only 19 years old here in Noosa, and I wouldn't have ever expected to have already 8 titles under my belt. So, yeah, I'm really motivated for tomorrow. I feel great, and yeah, I'd love to take another title.
Now, Ash, Noosa is a very special part of your life, of course, 8 times champion. You chose this weekend to come back to Noosa instead of staying overseas and going to the Ironman 70.3 World Championships. No regrets. Number 9, that's your goal.
Yeah, no regrets. I think I'm really happy with my decision. Obviously, it wasn't super easy, but I made it super early on in the year and then just thought, this year I want to do what I want to do, and that meant being here at Noosa Tri. So I'm definitely going to make it worth it tomorrow and just go full gas for 2 hours, and hopefully that means that I can put together a great race.
Luke, for you as a one-time winner of the event, how does it feel different coming back this year, the first time as a defending champion, by comparison to the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's hugely different. It's just like all the other little commitments kind of on the side, like it makes it kind of really sink in that it is such a big deal to win, like especially sitting here next to Ash and just having a chat on the way over and getting some guidance on everything she's done. But yeah, it's amazing. I would love to win again because that's, you know, what everyone always wants, and it's always such a competitive field. It's never going to be easy.
Now, Luke, this race is etched in history. It's one of the iconic races. You look at the honour board, the honour roll, there is absolute world champions, male and female side. We've got Craig Walden 6 times, Ash, as we mentioned, 8 times, Aaron Royal, Jacob Birtwistle, Miles Stewart, all the superstars of past and present have raced, but to have your name once on that leaderboard is awesome. 2 will be special.
Yeah, 2 definitely would be special because I was kind of looking through it the other day and yeah, looked at all the people that have won it twice. Like, they've achieved so much in the sport, so it's kind of like a bit of a hall of fame. So definitely getting my name on there again would be amazing.
What's it going to take to get 2 out of 2?
It's going to be fast. You know, Jake's won twice. Max Newman's fresh off Kona, 4th, an amazing performance. They're definitely wanting to win. Max has come twice, second a few times here, so he's going to be hungry. Jake's going to be hungry, and then you still got Nick Free from last year, so it's pretty much, I reckon, you're going to have to run close to 30 flat. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be tough.
I don't know whether Max going to be fresh off Kona or exhausted off Kona. We'll find that out tomorrow. One of the iconic things about this event is the blue carpet. We're going to have blue carpet in the house at some point, Ash?
I don't know, that's a bit out there.
Just in the garage?
I might just save that for Noosa Tri. I think let's just keep it a special part of this race.
What was it like running down that blue carpet knowing that you've got the event sewn up and you can enjoy the last 100 metres past the VIP tent?
Yeah, I think no matter where I'll be tomorrow, whether it's winning or not, I definitely will enjoy it all, soak it all up. I love going past the club tents. I like going past Surfers Paradise Tri Club. Jenny Elcorn was my first ever triathlon coach, and seeing familiar faces before I get over the Garth Proud Bridge is really special because I see so many people that have been such a huge part of my career, and just being able to give them a smile or a wave or a high five is something that I love doing, and I love to really soak it all up.
Now, Ash and Luke, you're both great ambassadors, sponsors of ASICS. This weekend they've released the Noosa Tri shoe, number 14. What's your race shoe tomorrow, age group athletes?
Hang on, before we go there, those shoes, I went down to the ASICS Expo yesterday, those Noosa shoes, you cannot wear those shoes, they're on the far right of the screen, unless your form's really good. You've got to have plenty of confidence to pull those off, surely.
No, they're for everybody.
They're fantastic. I love those.
Hey, Matt, there's one thing about triathletes. They love to look good. They love the fluoro colours. They love being out there. And if you look good, you race strong.
It's a good start, isn't it, when you pull those on in the morning?
Yeah, I love the colour palette of the female shoe, the lavender. Asics has really pulled it together nicely. All my favourite colours. So yeah, I've been wearing them around this weekend. But the Noosa Tri shoe is actually really popular around the world. When I was training in Spain often, the amount of Noosa Tri shoes I would see over there was mind-blowing. So even though they're iconic to this event and named after this event, they're actually a really great trainer. So yeah, they're actually a really good choice for so many people.
Lou, what's your training shoe of choice and your race shoe of choice?
My training shoe actually used to be the Noosa Tri, but I've moved back to the GT 2000s, a bit more structured for those long Ks, but always like to chuck on the Noosa Tris for a bit of speed work. It makes you feel fast, and it's kind of nice, especially now, like having won the event. Like it's kind of reminds you when you chuck them on, you're like, oh man, I'm pretty cool, I've won that.
Well, the closest I get to the Noosa Tri shoe from the Asics, I play a lot of tennis, and I've got bright orange Asics clay court shoes. And I just feel like I can get around the court a little bit faster because I've got a bit of Noosa with me just based on the colours alone. And my daughter, who's a keen netballer, who you've met a couple of times, Ash, she makes me pay for the Asics. She refuses to wear anything else.
Yeah, now Asics, sound mind, sound body. How do you keep your sound mind on race day, especially the lead up? A lot of people get nervous, a lot of people get excited. How's your sound mind, sound body in the lead up to one of the most iconic events, the Noosa Tri?
Yeah, well, it's actually something that I've tried to work on throughout my whole career, and I think this year I've probably done it better than most years in terms of just really focusing on myself, blocking out the distractions or the competitors. Yeah, of course, you always have to be tactically aware on the race course of where people are, but for me, really bringing it back to myself and what I can control, it's been so liberating just to feel like that freedom of just being in control of you and, you know, putting the distractions outside. And I guess that's how I go into this race too. There's a lot happening. There's thousands of people here. I try and soak in a bit of excitement and kind of also block out the rest.
What's the element that you've enjoyed the most, Luke, as a defending champion? Because there are a lot of extra distractions that you have to get used to.
I think just probably when you walk in and I saw my photo on, like, as I walked into the expo, that was pretty surreal because they used to be the photos of the guys I looked up to and wanted to be, and so that was pretty special for me.
Fantastic. Good luck to both of you tomorrow. You're going to watch a little bit of this afternoon, or need to get indoors and stay off your feet?
Oh, I think we're going to hang around for a couple of events. Yeah, you can still put your feet up and rest up, but still enjoy the cycling and running.
And when it comes to the Legends Triathlon, you're in a position now where you can heckle a few of them because you might have a few of your former competitors out there competing.
Yeah, why not? That's always fun.
Thanks for joining us, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
What a privilege to talk to our defending champions, the Queen of Noosa. Can she go number 9? We're going to find out in about 24 hours.
Yes, she can. We're not too far away from getting started with the women's criterium. That's just a couple of moments away.
When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there will be days like this. When other parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit. My mama told me there'll be days like this. My mama told me there'll be days like this.
Training program, week 3, day 4. Training program, week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
It pushes you forward. You sense its power.
As you exceed your limits.
Big thanks to all of our wonderful stakeholders and supporters of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon. We're doing it live today from the Garmin Beach Club right here on Noosa Parade, home of the Noosa Triathlon for the 39th edition. We're looking forward to a great Super Saturday. As we said before, we've got the open women's criterium. Matt Keenan is down on the ground, getting ready to introduce our superstars for the Australian women's criterium.
Thanks, Pete. We're just moments away from getting started. The women are out on course. They're warming up. The race will be kicking off at 2:30 local time, which is roughly 7 minutes away. We're going to introduce a few of the top contenders to you before they get started. The race format, it's pretty simple. It's 30 minutes around what is a really tight hot dog course, and then they get an extra 3 laps after that 30 minutes. To try and entice things a little bit for some more action, there is an intermediate sprint with a cash prize up for grabs. There's no green jersey, no points classification. There's just a cash prize up for grabs throughout the midway point of the race. That is at the discretion of the race commissaire. It's good to see plenty of the colours of ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast on the start line. They are the local team, and they have one of the big favourites, which is Daniela Di Francesco, who has been a significant competitor here in the past in the triathlon. She's been brilliant in the National Road Series so far in 2022. She's now turning her attention very much to racing bikes on the road, both here in Australia and over in Europe. We're going to take a look through some of the favourites in just a moment as they're getting themselves organised. They've got the pits covered off as well. If they have a mechanical problem, a puncture, for example, or they're involved in a crash, they get 1 lap out. The conditions at the moment, 28 degrees. It's around about 36% humidity. The wind speed, 11 kilometres per hour. But on this course, the wind shouldn't pose too many problems. One of the great elements of this course is the Garth Proud Bridge. They come over the bridge, and from looking back down behind me, once they get over the bridge, there's roughly 200 metres to go, but it's not until around the 150 metres to go mark before they can actually see the finish line. But that's the advantage of a criterium race, is they get to do plenty of dress rehearsals and get themselves sorted. The main challenge on this course, at either end, it's a 180-degree corner. Small peloton, they'll have just 14 riders, so that should make life just a little bit easier for the riders to be able to negotiate their way around the corners. The defending champion, Lauren Perry, she's not on the start line this year. She's going to be competing a little bit later on this afternoon as part of the Legends Triathlon. Oh, she is here. No, she is. I missed her on the start list. Lauren, you are here. Why don't you come over and have a chat? Come on. Aren't you competing in the Legends Tri?
I am, straight after this race.
This is a warm-up for the... I've missed you on the start list because I saw you on the start list. Who's in your team for the Legends Tri?
I can't remember at this moment. I'm a terrible...
What a teammate you are. You can't remember. Okay, so from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast, who's the one that you're riding for today?
Oh, we wouldn't want to let the cat out of the bag.
No, they're not listening. They're not paying any attention at all.
Oh, we have many strong riders in our team, and so we'll see how the race plans out and put, whoever ends up in a break or in the thing, we're going to back someone and see what they can do.
And after this, you're going to get a career in politics because that's the most diplomatic answer I've ever heard. You've gone with the broadest brush of watching every single member on our team.
Yeah, well, we do have some people with a strong sprint, but we've got people also that can drive a breakaway. So, yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
What about your team this season? It's been a fantastic year for the squad and recently announcing another big sponsor.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have these amazing sponsors that allow us to do what we do, and I think the proof is in the pudding with our girls getting pro contracts this year, and it's really not possible without those people that provide these opportunities for us, so we're so grateful.
As a team, how excited were you this year to watch a former member of your team, Anya Lowe, ride the Tour de France and get in a big breakaway and give spectators a high five at the top of a climb?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. The little girl from Tassie, I remember her at track carnivals, lucky to be a metre tall, and now she's taking on the world, and yeah, I think again that's with thanks to our team that allowed her that pathway to get there, and now the world's her oyster.
Well, the defending champion is here, and you're going to be getting underway shortly. Good luck in this one as the warm-up for the Legends Try. We're nearly ready to make a start. We're going to have a chat with the race commissaire shortly, who's going to give the riders the instructions. Look, I've just walked away from the chief commissaire. He's back down with the riders. The ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast team, they've certainly got a very strong lineup to be able to support the defending champion. I'm going to bring a couple of riders up and then we're going to have a chat to the chief commissaire. We're going to kick it off with number 3, the Australian Individual Pursuit and Team Pursuit champion from 2020. Please welcome Georgia Whitehouse. Next up to the line, wearing number 2, is Australian Junior Individual Time Trial Champion, 8th at the Junior World Championships. Put your hands together for Isabel Carnes. Next up is somebody with plenty of experience here as a triathlete and now as a cyclist. She's been brilliant this season at the Tour of Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, 2nd at the Oceania Championships. Put your hands together for Daniela Di Francesco. And finally, before we bring up the rest of the peloton, what about a round of applause for the defending champion? Come on, Lauren, up you come. And now we bring everybody else up. I'm going to hand it over now to the chief commissaire to give the riders their instructions before we get underway.
All right, thank you all for coming. Today, this afternoon, you're riding for 30 minutes plus 3 laps. You'll have 1 intermediate sprint around halfway through. Pits will close 5 laps to go, so after that, if you have an incident, unfortunately you'll be chasing. Before that, if you have an incident, just make sure you report to one of the commissaires. There's one at either end and here at the finish line if you want to get your lap out. Otherwise, we'll start you shortly. You'll see the taper of cones just down there. If you just follow those to get onto the right-hand side of the road, and then you'll be on race direction for the rest. Pits are just around the first corner on the outbound side.
We've got 45 seconds to go before we get started for the first of the races for Super Saturday. It is the women's criterium. There's equal prize money between the men's race and the women's race, and there's a fair bit of cash up for grabs. Live in Queensland with a little of 30 seconds to go, 30 seconds before they get started. 30 minutes worth of racing, an intermediate sprint along the way, and after that 30 minutes they get 3 laps to go. And as Lauren Perry said, they've got every single option available to them at ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. All bases covered. 15 seconds to start. 10 seconds before we get underway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are underway in the Australian Open Criterium.
Yeah. Okay.
Had a chat to Lauren Perry before it got underway. She's the defending champion. Small field, just 14 riders, but ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. This is a big event for them, and they've got superior numbers in the race. They're trying to control things already at the front of the peloton.
Yeah, local course, you want a local win. So they said a small field, but certainly a lot of talent. They're just testing and set first lap. They're going to go over a couple of times each lap on the Garth Prow Bridge. All the action, of course, on the big screen is Super Saturday, the Australian Open Women's Criterium. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Super Saturday. Tell you what, Manny, couldn't ask for a better day. As you mentioned, the temperature around 28 degrees, a light breeze, won't affect the riders too much. And don't be afraid, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder that clapping, cheering is free this weekend in Noosa.
I did hear you this morning at the Super Kids Triathlon heckling the parents for not supporting their kids enough. The kids were all enthusiastic. They were on board. Mum and Dad, they needed to lift their game, you said.
Yeah, well, it's just parents always had our kids, Super Kids try. Come on, Noosa, let's beat it out for our first lap.
Alicia Wells leading them through the bottom corner. It's Mia Hayden who's in second spot as they make their way through. And for Alicia Wells, she's got a big responsibility of part of the team with the defending champion and such strong numbers. A team that's been brilliant in the National Road Series this year, as they have been for the last couple of years. It comes with a fair bit of responsibility to look after the race favourites.
Yeah, it's quite a great course it is. As we said before, it's short, it's fast, it's fused racing. We're going to see a great Super Saturday. We kick it start with the Open Women's Criterium. The Legends Try will follow straight after Matty. And of course, then we go into our ASICS Bowl. All attention on Jack Rayner. Of course, Genevieve Gregson on the female side and Steve Monaghetti. Can he get the over 60 5K record?
Last time he was here, Motters, he was going for the 55 years and over record. He missed it by a couple of seconds. And he was meant to join us in commentary afterwards. He didn't join us until Sunday. He was exhausted. He almost brought up the day's takings.
Yeah, this is the Open Women's Criterium, the wrap-up Super Saturday, Matt, from 4:40 this afternoon. Of course, is the Open Men's Criterium. We can see now, out of the saddle, trying to put a bit of pressure, and already you can see it's starting to string out. This is a bit of an attack.
This is one of the riders from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. Exactly what Lauren Perry spoke about before the race got underway, that they've got plenty of riders in there, they've got cards to play, so they're looking for multiple attacks. And this is Daniela Di Francesco. You'd know her well from great success representing Australia in triathlon.
Yeah, absolutely a great triathlete. It's great to see her transfer from tri to bike riding and racing, and she has covered that move pretty quickly.
And it's Georgia Whitehouse who is with her, and Georgia is good company. Strong time trialist, particularly good on the track, Georgia Whitehouse.
I'll tell you what, the crowd want to see. This is the riding they want to see, Matty. It's 30 minutes plus 3, aggressive riding. And Daniela there already put the pedal down. So we're not waiting for the bunch to catch us. They're going to catch me.
This is really smart by Georgia Whitehouse. So she goes on the attack with one of the pre-race favourites, but that at least makes it equal for her in terms of numbers and not having many teammates for support. Georgia Whitehouse rides for Sydney Uni Staminade, which is probably the second strongest team on the women's circuit in Australia in the National Road Series behind ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. So Whitehouse knows what she's up against, and she's playing a really smart card here by getting off the front with Danny Di Francesco.
Yeah, we love to see this aggressive riding. Look at that one lap, and already they've opened up. I know it's a wide-angle shot, but they've opened up a good couple hundred metres lead there already. So is this the attack that could change the race?
It could well be. Rarely is the first attack the one that works, but every now and then you've got to change the script, and these two might be doing that today.
All right, 30 minutes of racing plus 3 laps. We are going to throw a preem in, so we are going to have a preem at some time. The commissaire will let us know, which simply means they are racing for a little bit of extra money for a good night out tonight in Noosa. Right over the Garth Prow Bridge, coming right down in front of the Garmin Beach Club. A big thanks to Garmin. They're coming under It's Live in Queensland. And Matty, this has been a very healthy attack.
Oh, this is a really strong move Danny Di Francesco with the funky Cole Medina around the bottom corner. Georgia Whitehouse in the pink colours. They're working really well together. Now at the front of the peloton, the chase is being led by Mia Hayden, and didn't get an official time check. I'll get it the next time through, because that is a handy gap.
Now, as said, 30 minutes of riding plus 3 laps. So at the end of 30 minutes, the commissaire will ring the bell. That simply says 3 laps to go. And at this stage, we've seen a move that's been pretty aggressive. The girls are going on with this move. They're not sitting up. They're saying goodbye to the peloton, to that chase group. They're looking back, but the race is up front. And they're good to see, Matt, they're swapping turns here. It's not one rider making this breakaway a success. They are working together. And look at that. You can see already the big gap over one more lap, and they've really doubled that lead.
It's a cohesive pair out in front. Taking a time check on this corner. And over the gap at 8 seconds. So 8 seconds on this course is a handy lead. At the peloton, they're paying due respect to the two out in front. They are two of the pre-race favourites, and they're getting organised really quickly with the chase to try and close it down.
Yeah, you can see our lead rider there saying, come on, let's go and close this gap down as quick as we can. They can't afford too much real estate between the chase group and those two riders that are up front. What a perfect day. Welcome, folks, to the Garmin Noosa Triathlon weekend. This is our Australian Open Women's Criterium, and you can see some fast, furious racing. That's what we expect over all the years we've been here, Matty. Super Saturday is certainly alive.
Two leaders make their way through the start-finish line. There's a Whitehouse on the front. Danny Di Francesca, she takes a look at the big screen, hoping to get a time check. The gap at the previous corner was 8.1 seconds. And as the peloton come through the finish line, the gap has blown out to 14 seconds. Great work by the two out in front, Pete Murray.
That's what we like to see, Matty Keenan. A bit of aggressive riding. They're not sitting up. And these girls now saying, OK, we're losing a couple of seconds per lap. We cannot afford only 30 minutes. We're getting into the race of 30 minutes plus 3.
Jessica Pratt is trying to lead the chase. She's looking to get herself organised. The challenge for Jess Pratt and everybody else in that peloton is that Danny Di Francesco on the fluoro yellow bike for the ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast team, she's got a handful of teammates, including the defending champion in the peloton, and they'll be doing everything they can to slow the peloton down to give Danny the chance to win out in front with Georgia Whitehouse.
I'll tell you what, the footage we're seeing on our large screen, the Noosa Australian Women's Criterium, good crowds. This crowd will build as Super Saturday unfolds. Of course, we've got a lot of more action coming up. Our next event will be the Legends. Some of the all-time legends of Australian sport are going to be out on our course. Guys like Matty Rogers, dual international. We've got Susie O'Neill, Madam Butterfly, Craig Bottram, Olympic representative. It's going to be epic.
And Reedy from Bondi Rescue, he'll be racing and commentating.
Yeah, he's going to be racing. He's going to be commentating the Bondi Rescue boys. You've got Harry's, Clint Kimmins, who's racing tomorrow in Reedy Form Team 1.
Give it another time check there, Pete. As they went around that top corner, the gap was back down to 10 seconds. So the peloton's chasing well on the straight that goes away from the finish line. The two leaders, they're consistent, sharing the workload together really well.
Yeah, coming off the famous Calf Proud Bridge, they do get a little bit of a downhill. You see these two riders now, they are making every pedal count here. They're just coming into the ASICS Noosa, Visit Noosa roundabout. And out they go.
The chase is having an impact. It's now down to 9 seconds. Emma Pratt on the front doing the chasing. She has taken 5 seconds off the advantage of the breakaway in one lap. Big performance by Emma. The challenge for her is, sitting in second position, is one of the teammates of Danny Di Francesco out in the breakaway, doing all she can to slow Emma Pratt down.
Matty, the advantage on this course for our chase group is it's a hot dog course, so every top end and bottom end of the course, they can see, they can smell that gap getting closer and closer. So it's exciting racing, but we expect nothing less here at the Australian Open Criterium Champion for Women on Super Saturday. I tell you what, Matty, this is our chase group. Look at the urgency now. Our lead rider really got the big gear, big chain wheel, looks around at 12, and they've certainly shut down that gap big time.
Emma Pratt has done a fantastic job. The gap is down to just 4 seconds. She has done all the work to close this down. She's reeled back in 10 seconds. Sure, the peloton is bigger in numbers, but it's just one rider, Emma Pratt, doing the chasing against 2. That is a fantastic performance.
Yeah, looks like our 2 lead riders have put the white flag out. They're going to surrender that first breakaway. But, of course, we are looking very shortly for our preem. This will make sure the girls really start grinding out away again. So we are back together, sorry, Matty, as one.
All back together. Emma Pratt, great job closing it down. I like the move by Danny DiFrancesco and Georgia Whitehouse, and I'm pretty confident it won't be the last move by those 2. 11 minutes of racing having been covered so far. That intermediate sprint that you talk of, Pete Murray, that's at the discretion of the commissaire. It might be in the middle, it might be a little bit later, and the riders, they keep eyeballing the commissaires to see when they blow the whistle for that sprint.
All right, so what Matty's referring to is a preem. So, as we said, when the connoisseur blows that whistle, it's going for a little bit of extra cash. There's a bit of cash up for grabs, and another little attack there, as you see on the big screen here at the Noosa Australian Criterium.
Rachel Wales it is from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. She sees Georgia Whitehouse on the front, who's been doing so much of the work from being in that breakaway, and now Rachel Wales decides it's her turn to test the legs. Can't quite open up the gap.
I'll tell you what, one thing's happening out there at the moment, Matt, it's the heart rate. It's going up, it's going down. These attacks take a lot of responding. The legs burn, the heart rate goes up to 180, 200 beats a minute, but you've got to cover the moves.
The problem is when it doesn't come back down again.
Red line racing at its best.
And that's the nature of criterium racing. It's cricket's got the test, the 1 days and the 2020. The criterium is cycling's answer to 2020, but it was around well before 2020 cricket. Compact racing. Robbie McEwen, the greatest Australian road sprinter of all time, a winner of this event 8 times, and a member of the Walk of Fame. He was inducted in 2019, Robbie McEwen.
Yeah, one of Australia's greatest ever, of course, as you said, green jersey at the Tour de France. I tell you the other thing, Matty, it's always good to go in those turnarounds in front, because when you're accelerating out, the back part of the field are on brakes. So if you're going to make a little bit of effort, that's certainly where we're going to see some of our attacks.
Unless you're Troy Bayliss. Remember the superbike rider, Troy Bayliss?
Oh, superbike world champion.
He would ride the men's criterium. He'd lose 20 positions on the way along the straights, come to the corners, everybody else is on the brakes, except for Troy Bayliss, duck up the inside, gain those positions once again.
Yeah, no fear riding by Troy Bayliss, one of our greatest ever world superbike champions. And here they come through. Come on, Noosa, make some noise.
The whistle is gone. At the whistle, so the next time through, it is the preem. There's a cash prize up for grabs with the peloton all together. I love the commissaire's discretion. There's no point blowing the whistle when there's a breakaway. There's already action in play. But with the peloton all sandwiched together, they've gone for the whistle to light the race up again.
Tell you what, Noosa's famous, Matty, for the sights and delights, beautiful bars, cafes, restaurants. This little preem prize can go a little way to celebration tonight.
Emma Pratt finds herself on the front once again. She's the rider who did all the pacemaking to close down the earlier breakaway. And now ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast on the Fluoro Factor bikes coming forward in big numbers.
Yeah, check out how they're spreading out across the road as well, Matty. So they're coming into the turnaround from here to the finish line. Will be very tactical, a lot of attacks, no doubt. They want to win the preem here at the Australian Criterium Championship for Women.
Georgia Whitehouse in the pink colours on the right-hand side of the screen has also got herself up towards the front. Despite there being a cash prize up for grabs here, Pete, on top of that, it's a great dress rehearsal for the final sprint. To take a look at the ideal running as they come off the Garth Proud Bridge.
Well, it looks like on the big screen, Matty, that the urgency's away, but get ready. We will see an attack. I'd say it'll come off the bridge. They're going to wind it up over the bridge, get that little bit downhill advantage, and come underneath the It's Live in Queensland arch. Who will take the cash prize? Here we go, Matty Keenan.
Emma Pratt is the first to go. She's up the inside with the yellow helmet on. She did all the pacemaking to bring the breakaway back earlier on. She might be paying the price for that, though, as she runs out of steam. ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast at the front. They collect the first of the prizes. A quick look across the shoulder, and it's Rachel Wales who collects the intermediate sprint for the cash prize.
All right, looks like our two riders are still going on with this attack as well. They're trying to take some energy. They're trying to take some power out of those back markers. Just over 16 minutes, Matty, deep into our 30 minutes plus 3 laps, the Australian Women's Criterium Championships, Super Saturday.
It is a Super Saturday. We've got the Legends Try. After this, the ASICS Vault, 5 kilometres of brilliant running to be able to watch. And then it is the Men's Australian Open Criterium after that to close out Super Saturday before everybody gets an early night and a very early start for tomorrow's triathlon, the 39th edition of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon.
Yeah, a lot of talk about the race tomorrow. This race, as we said before in our intro, is one of the most iconic races in the world. You have to be on the start line of a Noosa sometime in your career. And we have athletes, Matty, that over the 39 years, one of our legends is returning for number 38.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Matty, street racing at its best, the Criterium. The road surface is absolutely amazing. Smooth roads, a hot dog style course. The girls, the women, are really cranking these laps up. It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. Attack after attack, and we can't wait for the final 13 or so minutes.
Yeah, they couldn't ask for better conditions. Not windy. It's pretty warm, but it's only a 30-minute race, so they'll be able to deal with that just fine.
I tell you, I was down at Noosa Beach around 12 o'clock today. It looked absolutely beautiful. That light breeze, around 11 kilometres an hour from the northeast. And I've never seen so many cabanas on a beach. Noosa Beach is Cabana Beach.
Shade is at a premium. Peloton being led through by Alicia Wells from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. They're really starting to take control of the race now. Accelerates out of the quarter once again. Georgia Whitehouse trying to go with it. Then Emma Pratt. Little gaps starting to open up as the peloton is getting whittled down.
Yeah, once again, Matt, we saw the drive out of that roundabout. Our number one rider, she got in nice and early. As I said before, she's accelerating out while the rest of the field are on brakes. It can be a big advantage. You've got to stay at the front of that peloton. There's a lot of looking around, it's a lot of attacks, but we need to see another one. We will see another one, no doubt, as we get close to that 30 minutes with 3 laps to go.
And Lauren Perry, last year's winner, she hasn't put her nose in the wind so far. She's ridden smartly. She did make some defensive moves for her teammate Danny DiFrancesco when she was in the breakaway. I like the way Lauren Perry has ridden this race so far. She said this is the warm-up for the Legends Try anyway.
Oh, of course it is. 30 minutes plus 3 laps as a warm-up for the Legends Try. We talked about the Legends Try. The who's who of Australian sport will come out onto Noosa Parade straight after the finish of our Noosa Australian Criterium Championship.
Spoke with Lauren before the race got underway. She said she doesn't know who's in her team for the Legends Try. Well, Lauren, I can inform you, you've got Kai Hurst, 10-time winner of the ocean swim here, and Belinda Granger, the winner of the triathlon here in 1998.
Yeah, it's a good little team, that one. One of the teams. We will go through in more detail. Kenny Wallace, I saw him warming up in the Garmin Beach Club a little bit earlier with Kai Hurst. That's what it's all about. Kenny Wallace, Olympic kayak champion.
He was out this morning with you for the Super Kids, Kenny, and so was Kai.
Yeah, their sons raced today, and it was funny talking to Kai and Kenny at the interview of the Sport and Lifestyle Expo. They came in as single men, and now they're back married and happy with the kids.
Next move is on its way. Mia Hayden once again in the pink colours, leading them through the bottom corner after charging across the finish line. Being followed smartly by the defending champion. That's Lauren Perry, who is hot on the heels of Mia Hayden. Two big teams of Australian road cycling, the National Road Series squads of Sydney Uni Staminade and ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. They're the two teams predominantly at the front. Sydney Uni in the pink colours, ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast in the blue.
Tell you what, Matt, we see this year in, year out, the crowd starting to build on Super Saturday. This is event one of 4 this afternoon. As Matt said, we've got the Legends race coming on up, the ASICS Bowl, 2 races in one, the female racing 5K, the men racing 5K as well, and then to wrap it up from 4:40. We're doing this again, 40 minutes of racing, 3 laps for the Open Men's Australian Criterium. Come on, Noosa, let's get some energy. She's riding solo, she has done from par, but she's not throwing in the towel. She's trying to hold off the challenge of our peloton.
Courtney McGowan doing a great job surviving out there on her own. Peloton over the top of the Garth Crowd Bridge. The man who started this event way back in 1983 and has done an amazing job supporting so many athletes throughout their time here at Noosa, both cyclists and triathletes. One of the key athletes that Garth Crowd supported early in her career was Emma Carney, who went on to win this race a few times. She's got the course record, multiple world champion. The athlete that she coaches, Emma Hogan, is making her debut tomorrow. Mia Hayden once again in the pink colours. Second time launching herself off the front. I like this move, Pete. She attacks into the tight corner, and she's used the corner to create a gap. Lauren Perry it is who's leading the chase, taking a conservative look across the shoulder. Mia Hayden riding brilliantly. Noosa Australian Open criteria, 30 minutes plus 3 laps. They've been racing for 23 minutes so far. They'll all have the Garmins on their bike. They'll know how long they've been out there for, Pete. And at this point of the race, they start looking to the commissaire on the right-hand side of the road at the finish line, waiting to see the 3-lap board come up.
Yeah, some of them are praying for it a little bit earlier than what it's going to be. But as you said, Matt, just on 23 minutes, the best women riders in the Australia right here on the Noosa course. And of course, we do thank and welcome you to the Garmin Noosa Triathlon Festival. 39 years celebration this weekend. The Garmin Beach Club is up and running as well.
But next year being the 40th anniversary, you'll need to get your entries in early. It's going to be high demand to get your entry in for the Noosa Triathlon next year.
Mate, this is one of the events that sells out in literally half an hour. We've got 13,000 athletes racing over the weekend. If you want to be here on the start line next year in 2023 for the 40th edition, as Matt suggested, get in early. Entries do open very soon.
Another big move off the front. Looks like Rachel Wales from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast, who's opened up the gap. She's taking a sneaky look across the shoulder to see what her advantage is. The reaction is coming from Emma Pratt. It is Wales who's out in front. Pratt once again is doing the chasing. This is a good move because she's got so many teammates in the peloton to try and slow the rest of the group down.
I noticed the gear ratio there, Matt. She's pushing a big gear. She's winding it back up the top speed. That gap's open up to around 70, possibly 80 or so metres. She's going on with this attack. She knows we're getting deep into the 30 minutes. At 30 minutes, the commissaire will give the whistle, will give the bell with 3 laps to go. Matty, it's this a move that could change the race.
Potentially, but Emma Pratt's doing the chasing. She doesn't have teammates in there. The team in the pink colours, Sydney Uni Staminade, they've missed the move. They're the ones with the responsibility to do the chasing. Emma Pratt is too generous in her workload for her own good. She needs to save a little bit.
Yeah, still a long way out, as you said, Matt. We've got about 5 more minutes or so till we hear the bell with 3 laps to go. She's a game move, but she's not holding back. She's taking every corner as quick as she can. She's trying to wind it up. She wants to stay away from this chase group, but they look like they are not going to let her get too far up the road. Yeah, the voice of cycling, Matt Keenan, joins us live here in Queensland. Of course, it's always live in Queensland, with a massive thanks to Tourism Events Queensland, to ASICS, of course, Garmin. Welcome on board as we see some spectacular racing here at the Noosa Australian Criterium.
Here comes the leader. It's been a bold move to go off the front of her own. Rachel Wales going through. She's settled into a solid rhythm. It's Sydney Uni Staminate now taking up the chase. The gap is 7 seconds. Mia Hayden at the front of the pink colours. She's been so aggressive. Now she's on the defensive.
Rachel Wales is really trying to make this attack stick. She's up over the Proud Bridge. She's going to the top end of our course. Now, what we want you to do here at the ASICS turnaround, to visit Noosa on the next couple of laps, let's really give the athletes, these cyclists, some of Australia's best, a lot of energy. Clap, cheer, make some noise. We're seeing some great riding here in the Australian Criterium Champ.
And the chase is on the pink colours. Sydney Uni Staminate. It's the battle between the 2 big teams in the National Road Series, trying to close it out at the Australian Open Criterium in Noosa. Rachel Wales leads. The chase from Sydney Uni Staminate. Lauren Perry in 3rd spot. She's the defending champion. She looks so relaxed at the start.
I'll tell you one thing we are seeing on the big screen is the technique of these riders. Absolutely beautiful technique, using every inch of the road on those turnarounds. They're trying to maintain the speed. There has been another little breakaway. Looks like 2, possibly 3 riders trying to come across to our race leader.
They will get 3 laps to go this time through, so the action is heating up. The clock is closing down. We're at the business end of the bike race as Rachel Wales has been caught. She's got teammates amongst them, including the defending champion. Lauren Perry is right where she needs to be.
All right, the commissaire's got the board up, so 3 laps, which equates roughly to about 3.5 kilometres, or closer to 4. They are back together, Matt Keenan.
Jess Francis up in the 2nd spot. She's been super smart so far, Pete. Jess Francis in the pink colours has not wasted a single calorie. She's marked the moves perfectly and she slots herself into 2nd wheel. She sits behind Danny Di Francesco.
Oh, it's going to be exciting racing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to our final 3 laps. We've had almost 30 minutes of racing. 3 laps will determine who is going to take home the Australian Criterium title here in Noosa.
And at this rate, it looks like we're going to come down to a bunch sprint finish. Emma Pratt towards the back, number 9. She's been really good in this race. She's done a lot of the chasing. I'd love to see her take that risk in the last lap and a half, maybe, and sneak off the front and catch the others by surprise.
I'll tell you one thing, Matty, it's a small field, but the racing has been superb today.
It has been very good, really aggressive. There's barely been a moment where the peloton has been together.
A big welcome to the Cooper family, Monty Cooper and lovely mum Juliet. They travel all the way from your part of Australia, up from Victoria. They said, we've had enough of the rain, let's come to the sun.
I've barely been to a triathlon or a bike race in Australia that Monty and Julie haven't been at.
He's a professional age grouper. He tours the world. He was in Thailand, he's training at Tanapura with Tri Alliance, based out of Victoria, and now he's in Queensland.
Love it. What do we think, Monty? 2 laps to go. Is this going to be a breakaway or a bunch sprint finish? Bunch is the call.
So 2 laps to go when they come under the Itch line in Queensland finish line. As said before, guys, clapping and cheering, it's all free today. So if you don't want to clap and cheer, probably best to go home. So let's make some noise. Let's bang those hands together. Let's clap. Let's cheer. Let's bring home some of the best riders with 2 laps to go.
And it's ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. They've got the race under control. They're putting the big numbers on the fronts. And at the back of that group, it's number 14, Alicia Wells. She's in last spot amongst the riders from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. Can anybody interrupt their lead-out train? Rachel Wales at the front, Danny Di Francesco next in line, then the defending champion, Lauren Perry. Using their numbers really well here, Pete.
Yeah, look at that now. They're starting to dominate that front group. What that does, Matt, as you know better than anyone, it covers any attempt at a breakaway. So the same team, 3 deep at the front, maybe 4 deep, they are ready to cover any moves if one of the ladies is happy to go for it.
I'll tell you the rider we haven't mentioned off the front yet has been Isabel Carnes, 8th at the recent Junior World Championships in the individual time trial, and she's tightening up the shoes.
Wow, the power. Everyone thinks about the pedal. It's not the downstroke, it's also the upstroke. Over the top of that crank, you've got to grind away. You've got to put the power down. And we are now in the final stages of this Noosa Australian criterium.
Next time through, they get the bell. ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast with the numbers at the front, the pink colours then of Sydney Uni Staminade, seeing if they can deliver the upset. Penultimate time over the Garth Crowd Bridge, Pete. They'll come through this time. They'll get the bell lap. At 3 to go, ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. They took full responsibility for the race. They've got the defending champion. They've gone to the front. Rachel Wales is finally swinging off. A job well done by her. Di Francesco now takes over.
All right, lean over. Let's bang those boards, folks, in the roundabout. Bang the boards. Make some noise. Come on, lean over. The final lap. 30 minutes we've had, 3 laps almost done, and the team is dominating the front. This is what it's all about, Maddie Keenan, the final part of the journey.
And squeezing in, trying to cause the upset. 4th position, that's Jessica Pratt. She's the one rider from that's not from ARA amongst that lead group, so she's got herself in a good position. Di Francesco on the front. She tried from the breakaway. The defending champion just behind her. Then Isabel Carnes in 3rd slot.
Well, we started with a bunch. We're going to finish with a bunch. The crowd wanted a bunch finish. I tell you what, Matt, it's a safe bet now. We are going to see it down to the wire. It looks like around 12 or so riders are going to push it to the limit. 30 minutes done. Final part of the 3 laps.
Danny Di Francesco at the front. She has represented Australia on the international stage as a triathlete. She was one of the favourites here in the Noosa Triathlon. She's now doing the job in the Australian Open Criterium, leading out Lauren Perry, then Isabel Carnes. Can the riders in the pink colours, Sydney Uni Staminade, cause the upset? Jessica Pratt in 4th position. She's breathing down their neck.
Oh, that's what it's all about. We're going to throw over to Matt Keenan very shortly. They come over the world-famous Garth Crowd Bridge. From there, it's about 200 metres of torture, 200 metres of pain, grinding those pedals.
Di Francesco still on the front. Perry checks across the shoulder, over the top of the Garth Crowd Bridge for the last time. Di Francesco still waiting for the move to come from Perry. Lauren Perry now opens up. Isabel Carnes, her teammate, also going with her. But Perry, the defending champion, she goes back to back. Isabel Carnes in 2nd position, and Pratt maybe holding on for 3rd.
Oh, celebrate Noosa. Our defending champion goes back to back. She'll be coming out very shortly. She won't have any time for recovery. She'll be back very shortly in our celebrity try. Maddie Keenan will be talking to our winners now, but Maddie Keenan, what a race, what a display of top criterium racing.
And great team racing. It was a fantastic team performance by ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. They had the pressure with the big numbers and with the defending champion, and they managed to get the job done. They're heading down for another lap to try and continue celebrating, cool down, as well as Lauren Perry will be in action in the Legends Try very shortly. But as soon as she gets back here to the finish line, I'll have a quick chat with her. We'll make the presentation for the top three, and then we'll get over to Reedy for the Legends Triathlon. And Pete, it was super tight in the race for third place. So the winner was Lauren Perry. Her teammate Isabel Carnes in second position, and Jessica Pratt managed to sneak onto the podium in third. She rode position to perfection. She didn't have any teammates there with her, and she gets a spot on the podium. Fair portion of this road has been resurfaced in the last few months. It's made for ideal conditions for racing. Nice, safe bottom corner. ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast in celebratory mode as they're making their way back towards the finish line. I'll grab Lauren Perry, have a chat with her. Got to speak with her before the race started. She was hedging her bets, very diplomatic before the race got underway.
When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there will be days like this. When all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit. My mama told me there'll be days like this. My mama told me there'll be days like this.
Training program, week 3, day 4. Training program, week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
It pushes you forward. You sense its power.
As you exceed your limits.
Australian Open criterium, the defending champion, Lauren Perry, before the race got underway, you hedged your bets and you mentioned every one of your teammates except for yourself. You've won again.
Yeah, I couldn't not mention my teammates. I think they showed their class out there today, and I really couldn't have done it without Danny in that last lap. So I'm so grateful and really glad that I didn't stuff it up for them and pulled it off.
Didn't stuff it up. Is that a bit of the pressure of being the big favourites with this team and a local team? I saw you chatting to Ben Kirsten, one of the team owners.
Yeah, our team is obviously, like I just said, have so much talent. We have the greatest support around us, and our sponsors, our staff. So it really feels good when you can pull it off and kind of say thank you in a small way.
Well, now the pressure's really on. You've got the Legends try, you've got Kai Hurst swimming, and you've got Belinda Granger, who won the triathlon in 1998, running for you. So this is the real pressure, okay? Good luck with that one.
Thank you. I think I'll need it to keep up to my teammates by the sounds.
You'll be fine. Lauren Perry, she's gone out the winner of the Criterium. She's about to do the Legends triathlon. Speaking of Legends, let's head back to Pete Murray to talk us through the Walk of Fame and the inductee for 2022. Pete, it's over to you.
Thanks very much, Matt. We're up at the commentary position in the Garmin Beach Club, and it's a great privilege to talk to our latest inductee into the Walk of Fame here in Noosa. He follows in the footsteps of some very famous people, of course, the godfather of triathlon here in Australia, Garth Proud, Craig Walton, Emma Carney, of course, also Miles Stewart, Dawn Fraser, Steve Monaghetti, and Guy Hurst, just to name a few. It's a great privilege to have us with on our coverage, the inductee in 2022 of the Noosa Walk of Fame, Glenn Forbes from Cannibal. Welcome, Forbesy, and congratulations.
Thank you, Peter. Very surprised and honoured. Some amazing people in that inductee Walk of Fame. Maybe people will say Walk of Shame for me, but anyway.
You're a very humble man, Forbesy, but you must admit you've done 30 years of service here at the Noosa Tri. Cannibal Clothing started in 1989, and virtually since 1989 you've been here every single year as a sponsor, as an event stakeholder, and a thoroughly deserved award. You must be very proud deep down, Forbesy.
Noosa is Noosa. Yeah, there's triathlons and there's the Noosa Triathlon. Who wouldn't want to come here? It's amazing, Pete. The staff, the management, everyone's volunteers, everyone's amazing. So 30 years seems like 10.
Mate, Forbes, you've been here. Talk about the changes. This weekend we've got 13,000 people. It didn't start like that way back in your day, but Garth Proud, the godfather, as we said, was the man responsible for this iconic event, and it's grown. Talk about the early days when you were first involved.
I think 1983, Pete. I remember coming here. I worked at the Bowls Club, so you get a day off if you're sporty. So I came up here and I leant my bike against a tree, so it was pretty interesting. Then the years followed on. I met Garth that year, and then it just blossomed. And I remember coming up here. We used to go to the USM headquarters above the petrol station, and we'd help pack up things and do whatever we could. But it was always Garth that helped us be motivated to make the sport really good. And triathlon is much poorer for not having Garth, but it's very, very rich for having Noosa Triathlon.
Mate, as we said before, the names on the Walk of Fame are absolutely synonymous with, not with Noosa Tri, but Australian sport. Garth Proud was the first one, Dawn Fraser, Steve Monaghetti, two of our best ever athletes. Thursday night, the Managing Director of IRONMAN Oceania, Jeff Meyer, presented you with your induction. He's a great mate of yours, but you're also a great mate of our sport, and we can't thank you enough. Your involvement has been tremendous over it, and as a personal thing, you must be honoured to receive this special award.
I thought it was April Fool's Day, Pete, when Jeff called me. I didn't know what to do. And then I thought, it's a mistake and I'm going to get stitched up by Jeff, because he's a bit of a joker, but very professional person, Jeff. And,
well, we are getting ready for the presentation. Glenn Forbes, you are one of my great mates. You are a great mate for the sport of triathlon. You are absolutely a great mate here in Noosa. We love your work. Enjoy retirement, and congratulations once again on your award.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, we're going to throw down back onto deck with Matt Keenan, ready for the presentation of the Australian Criterium Women race. Thanks, Matty.
Thanks very much, Pete. I'm down here with Councillor Karen Fizzle from the Noosa Council. What a show you've put on today with the weather alone.
Oh, it's awesome. We just, looked up to the Tri Gods and said, bring it on.
And you've organised good weather for tomorrow too?
Absolutely. Nothing but A rating, yes.
Excellent. This is Super Saturday. Let's get organised with the presentations. We're going to kick it off first up with the intermediate preem, and that was taken out by number 12, Rachel Wales. Rachel, you're up first to collect the first prize. Congratulations, Rachel. Part of the ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast team that did a brilliant job. She was super active throughout the race. Now, in 5th position in the Noosa Australian Open Criterium, it is Danny Di Francesco. Step forward, Danny. You should be familiar with the process here from your triathlon days as well. In 4th position, it was Jess Francis. In 3rd position, number 10, she tried to interrupt the local team. Put your hands together for Jessica Pratt. In 2nd place from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast, 8th at the World Championships recently, Izzy Carnes. And the winner for the 2nd year running from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast was a brilliant team performance this time around. Put your hands together for Lauren Perry. A fantastic performance by the local team. They've got 2 on the podium. They've managed to get 3 inside the top 5. Thanks, Karen, for your assistance as well and all the support from the council for this event. It's great to see the women kick off Super Saturday.
It is fantastic to see these women athletes get in, go hard, go strong, and be great role models for our future athletes coming through.
I'm going to role model for you, getting out of the way of sparkling wine. You give the wine and I run in the opposite direction. Prosecco, bit of the sparkling white, ready for the women to celebrate their spots on the podium in the Australian Open Criterium. Now, for the women, their race is done. They get to enjoy the rest of the afternoon, with the exception of Lauren Perry, who's about to get started with the Legends Try. She's got Kai Hurst doing the swim, a 10-time winner of the 2XU Ocean Water Swim. She's got Belinda Granger doing the run for her team, a winner of the Noosa Triathlon in 1998. So her obligations aren't finished as yet. She's got an interview as well with Channel 7 before she gets out on that event. Pete Murray, we're not too far away from getting the Legends started. They'll be warming up over in the water, I'd imagine.
Right on the money there, Matt Keenan. What a great race. Race 1 done, 3 races to roll. We are going to go now to our Legends Try. Some of Australia's best sports stars are out there. Madam Butterfly, Susie O'Neill will return. We got Kai Hurst, Kenny Wallace, both Olympians. And down on the ground is our Bondi rescue man, Mr. Andy Reid. Reedy, over to you, mate, for one of the great races of Super Saturday. We call it the Great Race.
Yeah, Pete, get excited. Forget the Olympics, forget the World Cup, forget Paris-Roubaix, forget any sort of World Championships. This is the event. And I tell you what, these athletes take it ridiculously seriously. Our swimmers in the water are about to take off. We've got Anthony Harries-Carroll from Bondi Rescue, Susie O'Neill, Kai Hurst, Ken Wallace, Jessica Schipper, Carla Papek, Stephanie Wood, and Matt Heyman, would you believe it? He's doing the swim in a team with Luke McKenzie and Beth McKenzie. We've also got Matt Rogers, dual international, mate. How are you feeling? You've done a few of these. Are you nervous?
Well, I am. I haven't won it yet, and I've been here for many years, and it's been a goal of mine. So I'm hoping that Jess gets out of the water fast, sets me up on a good. I got a good wheel to jump on, and then I can get my runner out early, and we can have a win.
All right, mate. Good luck. I'll come over to Luke McKenzie, mate. How did you end up on the bike and Matt Heyman swimming, Paris-Roubaix champion, and you're on the bike?
Buggers me, mate, but yeah, no, I think he's got the best end of the deal there. It's bloody hot day today, so in the water I think he's done a good job.
Mate, do you know, can he swim? We know he can ride a bike.
Says he can, but he's about 10'8", so I think he could probably just wade the whole thing. He'll probably be in first.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's got some competition. He's got Kai Hurst, Kenny Wallace. We know they can swim. Speaking of Olympians, Craig Mottram, how are the old calves, mate? They look rock hard.
They're definitely rock hard. That's knots in them. They're 42 years old, so the calves are the biggest issue today, but we'll get around. The swimmers already have just got in the water, so we're underway.
Yeah, there we go. They haven't given them different coloured caps, so this is going to make life very hard to commentate it, but I can guarantee that'd be Kai Hurst in the middle, no cap, no goggles. Kenny Wallace will be on the left. Jessica Schipper will be up there. Susie O'Neill will be somewhere else. Courtney Atkinson off the back of coming second at UTA 22. How are you feeling?
Mate, a little bit rusty.
A little bit rusty, but you got a good team. Talk us through your team.
Yeah, we've got I think we've been stacked, so I'm kind of thinking they thought I'd be able to run today, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to be handicapped.
All right, well, good luck, Court. Josh Amberger, you are my favourite team. Talk me through who you've got swimming and who you've got riding.
Mate, Kenny Wallace swimming. He was a rower. I don't even know if he can swim, but I haven't met our cyclist. She's fresh off the crit, so she's at least going to be warmed up, a bit more warmed up than me. I've been on holidays, mate, so I'm going to try and hide as much as I can in this run.
All right, mate. You're about to get married too to potentially a 9-time Noosa champion. Are you excited?
Yeah, 100%. Excited about the wedding or the race tomorrow?
Oh, both, mate. What are you excited about?
Yeah, I mean, Ash has been like super focused on this race. It's kind of been amazing to see. But yeah, the wedding in 2 weeks. I've just got back from a trip overseas. Most of the organisation's done, and yeah, hats off to Ash. She's up there with her feet up. So
awesome, mate. All the best. Our swimmers are now out of the water. If I know any man wading in the water, that has to be Kai Hurst.
Yeah.
If not, Kenny Wallace. And I dare say they won't be too far from coming out of the water. They're wading, diving, porpoising. Let's hope Anthony Carroll's in there somewhere. He's my teammate. Fingers crossed.
Great to see Kai Hurst. He's our 10 times Noosa 1000 swimmer. What a field it is. Jessica Schipper, you can see her pretty in pink. This is what it's all about, Reedy. The superstars are ready to spark up Noosa Parade. Very shortly, they'll be coming out of the Noosa River, across into transition. Kai Hurst is looking back to Kenny Wallace and saying, catch me if you can.
I'm a little bit worried about Matt Hayman, his swimming ability. As Reedy mentioned before, he's been a winner of Paris-Roubaix. What's he doing out there swimming? A few nervous bike riders too.
It's Sam Bedden there, one of our favourites for the race tomorrow. But there they are coming out through the Garmin swim exit. Reedy, they're going to be coming to you very soon. Kai Hurst is there.
Kai Hurst, as expected, out of the water first. Kenny Wallace in second. Oh, Kai, looks like he's gone to the absolute well. How was that, big fella?
Oh, that hurt more than I thought. It would.
Doesn't help if you're in the surf club on the beers for the last 2 hours, I'm sure. Matty Hayman out of the water in fourth. Would you believe it?
Oh, he's just missed the
Great
podium.
Susie O'Neill.
He's just missed the podium.
What about that for a swim, Susie? How's your swim? It's always brutal. The cyclists are off, Pete. How are they looking?
I tell you what, I'm sure I saw Susie do the swim butterfly. I'm positive. But Matty Rogers, he's a dual international rugby league, rugby union. He's an Ironman athlete. And over the last couple of weeks has launched his brand new book, Matty Keenan. He's an author. And today he's in our Legends Relay. Go, Matty Rogers.
Yeah, the book, it's titled Father Son. I'm looking forward to reading it, actually. I don't know Matty's backstory as well as those of you from New South Wales and Queensland do as a Victorian. I know Matt reasonably well from interactions with him here. He's a sensational athlete off the football pitch too.
Yeah, he's a great man, and I know his wife Chloe, his son Max and Phoenix are all in the crowd. But check out this breakaway. She just rode 30 minutes plus 3 laps in the criterium. She's saying to the men, catch me if you can.
Hey, Pete, can I just jump in here? I got Matty Hayman fourth out of the water. We didn't know you could swim.
Neither did I. I can't really talk. That was really hard.
You beat Susie O'Neill out of the water.
No, that's not true. I passed her on the run.
Oh, there you go. All right, but still, we know now Matty Hayman can swim. Maybe he'll have a crack at the race tomorrow.
Awesome effort, Matty Hayman. Don't give away your secrets about beating Susie O'Neill in the run from the water up to the finish. All we know is that you got here first. Great to see Lauren Perry out in front. She's got a teammate, Alicia Wells, closing things down. Lauren said that she was more nervous about this event than the criterium, which she went into as the defending champion. And I'm looking forward to seeing how team number 7 goes. Stephanie Wood got them started. This is the netball team from the Sunshine Coast, the Lightning. Looking forward to see how they perform in this triathlon. Team triathlon, 1 leg each. Well, there's an attack on the bike leg here, Reedy.
Yeah, we like attacks. I got Beth McKenzie down here. You're in good shape, training for a 2:35 marathon. How are you feeling?
Thanks, no pressure. I'm feeling great. The husband better pull through.
He better. Well, we know he can still, but do you think he can finish it off in the run?
I'm not sure with Josh here, Courtney, who knows?
And what about, don't rule out Craig Mottram. We know he can run.
Getting myself into these things. It all seems like a good idea a week ago, and then about an hour before, I'm thinking I could be up in VIP sipping on champagne.
I no doubt you'll be doing that straight after this race.
You got that right.
All right, Reedy's going to be running. Craig Mottram comes out. Craig, how you feeling, mate? You ready? Your role, you're going to be commentating the bulk, but in a moment, you're running 3Ks for your life.
3Ks, is it? Yeah, that'll be the longest run I've done in a couple of years, Pete. But pretty pumped, as everyone here is. The runners are making their way onto the start line now, so if I can speak after this, it'll be a miracle. But look forward to joining you in a couple of minutes.
Good on you, Craig Mottram. Glenn Stanley Gorick is doing a bit of dancing here. How you going, Stanley? Ironman Hall of Fame.
Yes, mate, I'm here. I'm after Rudy's bum, though.
Catch him if you can. Toby Coote, can you put his shirt on? It's a family show. It's a family show. But we got our warm-up runners there. Josh Amberger is doing a bit of the star jumps. You want to get a bit of Merv Hughes participation? Can we have our crowd do some star jumps with Josh?
One more lap.
Oh, one person. Thanks a lot. That's all it's all about. Andy Reid, where are you, Reedy?
Buster, mate, any advice for these runners about to tackle this course? Any advice? Go to your blow or just pace yourself a little bit?
I think go out nice and slowly, Reedy. That's what I'll be doing, and then just work into it. It seems the cyclists have got 3 laps, the runners have got 2. It's all a bit unfair, but I think enjoy it, get the crowd involved, and let's have a good time. It's fantastic to be back in Noosa. Can't wait.
Isn't it just?
Connie Atkinson, yesterday he was in Sydney running the UTA 22K. A short flight, mate. You've won here 3 times, but you want this title. You want to win the celebrity race.
I do, mate, but I'm glad you're putting in the excuses for me early. I'll use that later.
2 times Olympian, great man, 3 times Noosa champion. We are down here with the runners, ready to wrap it up. Reedy, you're going to run with the microphone?
I'm going to have a crack at it. I don't know how I'll go keeping up with these lot. They can all run, we know that. Let's just hope I got a bit of a lead. Fingers
We got
crossed.
this man affectionately known as Juzzy Bear, Justin Granger, always looking fit and fine. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm ready to go, ready to give it a good crack.
Give you a bit of advice. Beat the wife if you can. Otherwise, you're doing the vacuuming, the dishwashing all month.
Yeah, well, I've got the lead bike rider at the moment, so hopefully I can hold her off.
No pressure. No pressure for Justin Granger. We are live on the corner of the ASICS turnaround, ready for our Legends try. There's a lot of talk. Matty Keenan, there's a lot of talk down here, but now there's got to be a lot of run. Let's get ready to rumble.
I've heard talk is cheap, Pete Murray, and Craig Mottram is still complaining about the Legends try in 2019 when somebody took a shortcut and Craig said, I don't cheat.
A rider reply.
That's actually incorrect, but in 2004, Spot Anderson did tackle me in the swim, so there's a bit of this going on, so let's hope in the next 5 minutes it's all safe sailing for everyone.
All right, here we
They
go.
come.
Here we go. The riders are coming
Everyone's
in.
ready. Oh, Jesus, it's my athlete.
Clint Kimmins,
Here we go.
Sam
Start the
Bennett,
Garmin.
all coming
We're
on
off and
in.
racing.
Matty
This is the
Heyman.
most horrifying year in the world. Oh my God, I'm winning. Jesus Christ, what's going on here? I might actually win this whole thing.
Reedy is dreaming. The Bondi Rescue. It looks like a scene from Baywatch here in Noosa. David Hasselhoff, he is the
Daylight!
Australian
It's absolute
version.
daylight!
Reedy, has he got enough? I reckon he's all show no go. Myself, Matty Keenan. What are you thinking about Reedy?
I'm
He's
worried.
talking it up at the front of the field.
I'm worried he's going to forget to breathe. He's talking that much. He's going to blow a gasket by talking whilst his heart rate's going to 180. He's going to put himself in the red zone real quick.
Now on Bondi Rescue, he talks a lot, but there's no camera in front of Reedy, so can he do it? Can the Bondi Rescue? He went on record saying that Noosa Beach is better than Bondi. Matty Rogers also saying, get out there, runner. Glenn Stanley Gorick takes it out. Probably not one of the fittest looking athletes. He's already soaking up. But Matty Rogers, well done, buddy. Great race.
What was that all about?
It's what it's all about, folks. We call this our celebrity race, the Garmin Beach Club. Don't be afraid to clap and cheer. Big thanks to ASICS. A big thanks to all our stakeholders. What a day, around 28 degrees. The action is heating up. Straight after this, Craig Mottram will finish his run, and he's going to be on the microphone for our ASICS 5K Bolt, the finest and fastest middle distance runners in Australia. Clint Kimmings from Bondi Rescue. G'day, Clint. What a ride, mate. You went from the back to the front pretty quick.
Yeah, well, you have to when Reedy's your runner. We've got to give him a bit of a head start.
Mate, he's talking it up. He can talk all day, but can he run to the finish as number one?
The short answer is no, but I'm hoping nonetheless he gets it done.
Great to see his bike rider. Got a lot of confidence in his rudder. But anyway, this is it. How are you feeling, Noosa? Make some noise if you're enjoying it. Mate, was that Reedy trying to breathe or trying to talk? I don't know, Matty Keener. Can you see him at the Garth Proud Bridge?
He's asking for somebody to come and rescue him. Bondi Rescue needs rescuing at this point. He spent the entire lap looking across his shoulder, and the big figure of Craig Mottram is mowing him down as Matt Rogers is out trying to rugby tackle some of his competitors off the course.
This is like a rabbit in the front of the chase group.
I'm going to win it!
Is literally running for his life. He's got one lap to go. I don't know if he realises it. He's got one lap to go.
Turn left now, Reedy. Reedy,
Courtney
left.
Atkinson's there. Craig Mottram's there. Josh Amberger. Beth McKenzie's coming on through. Justin Granger is in the mix as well. One lap to go. The Celebrity Try here at Noosa, the 39th edition of the Garmin Triathlon here in Noosa. What a race. Matt Rogers, he's a rugby league, rugby union, IRONMAN author. How was the ride out there, champion?
Well, it was tough coming back with that headwind, but I made up a bit of ground in that lead pack. Rode hard. Yeah, they weren't going that fast. I was surprised.
Mate, I'm sure you're going to be sampling some of the refreshments up at the Garmin Beach Club. Wife Chloe's there, Highland's in there, Caroline's there. Enjoy the spoils.
Well, hydration is the key on a hot day like today, mate, so I'm about to go and sort that out.
All right, I'm sure, but complete confidence in you, Matty Rogers. Some of our riders coming on in. It's what it's all about. The best of the best here in the celebrity race. Matt Keenan, it's heating up down here, mate. Action plus.
Courtney Atkinson is ready for a comeback. He's leading the race. He's giving everybody high fives. He's pulled the GoPro out of the pocket and he's starting to take some footage. And he's leaving the great Craig Mottram, Buster Mottram, in his wake. And Craig is starting to labour. Pete, you might have to come in off the bench to commentate on the ASICS Bolt.
I tell you what, Matty, I don't want to cause too much drama here, but I'm sure some of our runners did not go around the full course. So there's a bit of controversy down on the course, but I tell you what, it's what it's all about. Glenn Stanley Gorick is just giving high fives. He's not even worried about the run. He's worried about the glory.
Josh Amberger is breathing down the neck of Courtney Atkinson. Courtney's winning the contest for the biggest smile. It's starting to turn into a grimace as they're going over the Garth Proud Bridge for the last time. This is no showpiece, Pete Murray. This is a race for honour.
Matt Keenan went down with Luke McKenzie. How was it, Lukey?
Mate, that absolutely tickled. I haven't been that hard on a bike for a long time, mate. Probably since I was doing this last time with Robbie and Simon Clark.
Right, just very quickly, Simon Thompson, Olympic athlete. That's all about Noosa today.
Oh, so much fun. That's so good.
All right, folks, here we go to the finish. Oh, they're holding hands. What's going on? Kenny Wallace isn't happy. Courtney Atkinson, he's going to take it home for his team. What a run. Josh Amberger tried to answer the challenge. The Queenslanders go head-to-head, but it will be the team with Courtney Atkinson. Josh Amberger, race favourite for the team. Craig Mottram comes across the line. He's got to get himself set and ready. Craig Mottram's got a fan club in the Garmin Beach Club. Beth McKenzie comes on in. Juzzy Bear, Justin Granger will make his way to the finish. He beats Belinda, so he's off household duties for the next month. We're going to ask all of our athletes to make sure. Here he is. Let's see how good the big mouth is now. How are you, Reedy? I love it. I love it. But Reedy, you can say, as we look at the camera, you were the first runner on the first lap. How does it feel?
Mate, I won the first lap. Nothing else counts. No one cares about the second lap.
I can imagine after a couple of lemonades tonight that you're going to say you almost won the race. But I tell you what, it's all about fun, Reedy.
Oh, mate, yeah, I don't know. I'd say that was fun. Hope everyone else thought it was fun, but that was hot and hard. And when I knew I had the top dogs chasing me, and Clint looked at me at the turn and he's like, come on, mate, what are you doing? I'm like, you know, I've got some of the best athletes in the world chasing me. And I've got about 1.6K to go, so, nah, mate, I was gone.
Good on you, Reedy. Matt Keenan, I tell you what, it's a lot of fun. We're going to get our photo of all of our superstars underneath the arch. Jess Shipper, Susie O'Neill, Madam Butterfly. Congratulations, how are you?
Good to see you again, Pete.
It's always great. Now, is it true you did the swim butterfly?
That's a false rumour, no. I don't swim butterfly anymore, but I got some great drag off Kai Hurst, though.
I wonder why. I don't want to go into that. Toby Coote, great swim.
Oh, I love it. Back in the old school, mate, back in that dark water out there. These guys tomorrow are going to have the epic out there at Main Beach, that's for sure.
The big fella, Kai Hurst, mate, you led the swim. You're doing backstroke, but your children and Kenny's children raced 1-1 before today, but the Hurst family beats the Wallace family in Noosa.
Oh, mate, holding it strong, huh? It's, mate, it was fantastic. You know, I had Susie on the left and then Kenny on the right. Mate, awesome day.
All right, Matt Keenan, back up to you, mate. They are getting the celebrity photo. Noosa, make some noise for our celebrities today. They put on a show, and that was our celebrity race here at the Noosa Try. Back to you, Matt Keenan.
Thanks, Pete. What a fantastic event. What I really liked about that in the final 150 metres, Josh Amberger was out in front alongside Courtney Atkinson, and he was going to be really sociable about the whole affair. And he put the hand out to shake hands with Courtney. Courtney brushed it off and then started sprinting. The competitive spirit really came out. He had white line fever. It's great to see all the smiles there at the finish line as well. Fantastic to see the team from the Sunshine Coast and the netball getting into the action as well, amongst many of the great triathletes. Matt Wilson up the back in the black colours, a teammate in the past of Matt Heyman as well, two former great Australian cyclists. And Matt Wilson, one of the owners of ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast, the team that has just won the women's criterium, and they'll have a few of the contenders in the men's criterium, which is the last event today on Super Saturday. Kenny Wallace debriefing as well, having a chat there to Courtney Atkinson. It was great to see that competitive spirit coming out. Craig Buster Mottram, he'll be in action once again very shortly, this time on the microphone once he gets his breath back, because we're only moments away from getting started with the ASICS Bolt. It's 5 kilometres, and the big story in amongst it is that Monaghetti, one of the great runners of Australian history, the great from Ballarat, having celebrated his 60th birthday at the back end of September, he's ready to go and race in there amongst them again. I think the last time he did this event was just after his 55th birthday. Belinda Granger in the fluoro colours, a winner of the triathlon back in 1998. She'll be joining me tomorrow in commentary as we look to see if Luke William can go back-to-back in the men's event and if Ashley Gentle can make it victory number 9. Ashley Gentle has raced this event some 8 times, starting it as a junior when she finished in 2nd position, and she's now aiming for her 9th victory, which would be a record performance. The next best behind her is Craig Walton, who won this event 6 times. And Emma Snowsill on the women's side of things has won the event 5 times. So Ashley Gentle certainly is the queen of Noosa. It was great to hear the chat earlier as well with Forbesy, who was inducted into the Walk of Fame on Thursday night as part of the launch event for this great event, the 39th edition of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon. And the walk, you can see, you've got the walk in Hollywood, we've got the walk in Noosa as well, and you can see some of the founding members of this organisation to get things started. Garth Proud was inducted in 2012, one of the first people to do so. The course record holders with Emma Carney and Craig Walton, they were both inducted the first year around in 2012. The likes of Dawn Fraser, a brilliant ambassador for this event. She's part of the Walk of Fame as well. It is a star-studded list of people that are on that Walk of Fame, as well as Joy Van Ziel, who was a volunteer in this event for more than 30 years. So it's just not the athletes that are part of the Walk of Fame. It's a bit more than that. We've also got plenty of people that have made a big contribution to the event that don't necessarily get seen, those that are back of house. The competitors for the ASICS Bolt, they're just about to go out there and start warming up, as we've got those from the Legends Try still debriefing, and some of them still trying to get their breath back. I reckon the hardest leg in that event is to do the run where it all finishes off. So, as the athletes are starting to get ready for the ASICS Bolt, that will be the next on the program. Short break, and then we'll be back into the thick of the action.
no need to worry. There'll be days like this when no one's in a hurry. There will be days like this when all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit. My mama told me there'll be days like this. My mama told me there'll be days like this.
Training program week 3, day 4. Training program week 5, day 2. Week
6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
It pushes you forward. You sense its power
as you exceed your limits. Training program week 3, day 4. Training program week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
It pushes you forward. You sense its power
as you exceed your limits.
And next up it will be the ASICS Bolt. That starts in 15 minutes or so. Craig Mottram will be calling all the action. He's still getting his breath back. He's going to be joined by Genevieve Gregson, one of the great Australian Olympians who we've seen in action in this race plenty of times in the past. In the men's race, we've got Ryan Grigson was the winner last year. Jack Bruce, he's back for more. He was second in the event last year. In the women's race last year, that was taken out by Izzy Bat-Doyle ahead of Caitlin Adams. And in the men's race, the record for the men's race is 13 minutes and 41 seconds. That was set back in 1999. Craig Mottram, who will be joining us in commentary, he missed the record by just 2 seconds. He ran a time of 13 minutes and 43 seconds. That was back in 2002. But Craig holds the record for the fastest Australian in a 5-kilometre road race, and his time is blistering. It is 13 minutes and 20 seconds the time for Craig Mottram as the record holder for the 5Ks. But we have got racing here, a man who recently has set an Australian record for the 10 kilometres. Jack Rayner will be in action. He broke the record recently. He ran a time of 27 minutes and 43 seconds, some 11 seconds quicker than the previous record held by Craig Mottram. So he's in really good shape. He's certainly going to be the one to beat in the men's ASICS Bolt. But the format of this for the 5K ASICS Bolt, if you haven't seen it before, it's brilliantly laid out. The women start at 4 o'clock local time, and then The men start at 4:02. So often there's a really big battle as to who will get to the finish line first. Will it be the women who get across the finish line first, or will it be the men? And so often you see it coming down to the last few hundred metres as to who gets there first. As we've mentioned already a few times throughout the broadcast today, for the 39th edition of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon, a lot of us are looking forward to seeing the great Steve Moneghetti back in action. Had the pleasure of interviewing Monas on Thursday. It was the easiest interview I have ever done in my life. I didn't even ask him a question, and he responded to the introduction for some 3 minutes. We're still 15 minutes away from the race getting started, but Craig Mottram is already ready to go. So let's head down to the great Buster Mottram. Craig, it's over to you.
Thank you, Matt. And look, it's great to be here. Just come fresh off the Legends Triathlon, which I would imagine the young lady next to me won't be far off doing in a couple of years. But I think she's got a few more things in the elite side of running that she wants to tick off. Of course, I'm standing next to the great Genevieve Gregson. You've had a busy 12 months, haven't you? It's been fantastic, obviously, to watch you at the Olympics. Probably not the result you wanted. And then see you have Little Archer 4 months ago, and then back racing in Burnie 10K last week. Just give us a quick rundown of the last 12 months and how cool it is to be back in Noosa in front of a great crowd.
Thanks, Craig. I wish I could say that I planned how the last 12 months has gone, but it has all been on the whim. I think that after the Olympics, with that tragedy happening in the last water jump when I ruptured my Achilles, I had to make lemonade out of lemons. So luckily for me, we now have a young boy. He's only 4 months old, but he's watching Mummy and Daddy race today. And yeah, I've had 2 Achilles surgeries, given birth, but I am ready and roaring to go.
And it's been phenomenal that that's all happened in 12 months, really. In 16 months that you've been able to overcome that Achilles operation, or 2 Achilles operations, and then obviously the birth of Archer. Now, your training group, you've got quite a few mums in that group. Have they managed to share some of that information, give you some inside knowledge on what to expect and then what it's like to return to running?
Yeah, exactly. The whole reason why I thought that, this was a path I could follow was because of the women that have done it before me, and I'm so lucky to have so many of them in my stable, with Eloise Welling, Sinead Diver. I mean, even Jess Trengrove's not in our group, but she's someone that I've followed so closely. And yeah, to have those type of role models, that's the reason why I feel like I can still be an elite athlete and a mum at the same time. So yeah, let's see how this goes.
Look, it's fantastic. And obviously the Achilles surgery, hard to overcome. Coming back from childbirth versus Achilles surgery, what do you reckon?
I'd say I'll have 10 babies and no more Achilles surgeries, thanks.
Oh, look, that's phenomenal. Last week you raced in Burnie, 10K, 34:30 or thereabouts. A good return to racing. What are we expecting today?
Yeah, last week was definitely a step forward. My coach said try break 35 minutes, so to run 34:36 was a big tick. Today, there's so many variables. I was talking to Ryan, my husband, and he just said, look, this is a type of race where anything can happen. It's really, really hot. There's a lot of turns. There's a big field of good athletes, and I'm just going to tuck in and hope to not let them too far out of my sight. But again, yeah, just one foot forward after another and try get to the finish without feeling awful.
Awesome. Well, you've been a legend of our sport. You've won this before you go in 2019. Will we see you in Paris in 2024?
You betcha. I'll be in Paris with my little boy and hopefully my husband.
Outstanding. Good luck, Genevieve. Have a great race. That's Genevieve Gregson. Let's get around to Pete. We're getting ready. We're 10 minutes away or so from the Essex Bolt.
Yeah, we are. 1, 2.
While Pete gets his microphone
1,
sorted,
2.
we're going to make our way up to the start line. We'll see if we can't grab Steve Moneghetti when we get up there. And I know Matt's been talking about Steve Moneghetti trying to break this over 60s world record, which is at 16:28. So I think we worked out, Pete, that's about 3 minutes and 18 seconds per kilometre. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad for a 60-plus age grouper. I said that in tongue-in-cheek. He's a 4 times Olympic athlete, 4 times Commonwealth Games, and today he's putting on the line a possible world record. He's got to run, as you said, around just under 3 minutes 20. We talked to him on Thursday night. He's pumped for this race. The crowd have got to give him energy, Craig. That's where it's going to come from.
They do, and look, I've run here a few times. I've won it 5 times in the past, and the atmosphere that happens down here in Noosa is outstanding. So we need the thousands of people courtside, or trackside rather, here today to get around Steve Moneghetti if he's going to break that world record. And for many of us, it'll be once in a lifetime to see a world record set in a running race here in Australia. So let's get around Mona. And on the other side of that, I'm going to let you introduce Jack Rayner. Jack Rayner is going for the the course record of 13:41, which was set by Joseph Womeru back in 1999.
And now in 2003, you ran 2 seconds. So I don't want to rub it in, but at 13:43. So there's rumours going around that Jack Rayner is coming off great form. Last week in Burnie, he was a 10K champion, just over 27 minutes. He's got speed in those legs, and today is the record in jeopardy.
It is, absolutely. If Jack wants the record, he's probably going to have to do a lot of it on his own today, especially after the 3K mark. It's not a super fast course. It is warm. It's probably 32, 33 out here on the road. You go over the Garth Proud Bridge 4 times. Doesn't seem like much the first time, but on the 3rd and 4th lap, there is a rise going up, and you come down on the other side of it. So there is a little bit of strategy around running this course, and then the U-turns at either end, Pete. They actually run like hills themselves. You've got to decelerate to go into them, and then you've got to accelerate, much like in a bike race, to get out of them. So if Jack wants that record, I worked it out. It's 2 minutes 42 per kilometre. He's got to run for 5 kilometres back to back to back to back to back. And that is some solid running, Pete, and he is the man to do it. 27:43 in Burnie last week, 13:06 on the track this year in Europe. He's in good form, Pete. He's in good form, and I think if he wants that record, we'll try and catch him before the start. He is the man to get it. And in the women, we have a very competitive field. We've got 4 or 5 young women all around that 15:05 track ability. All represented Australia earlier this year at the World Championships, and will be gunning for Budapest World Champs next year, Paris in 2024, and then Victoria have the Commonwealth Games in 2026. So you've got the cream of the crop on the track here, Pete. Get ready to race this bolt.
Yeah, Craig Mottram, 5 times champion here in Noosa at the ASICS Bolt. Let's explain how it's going to happen. Our female will get 2 minutes. They'll start first. 2 minutes after, we'll see the men. If all goes to plan, we'll see our men and ladies cross the line at time. You are over there, Craig, with our 4 times Olympic athlete, 4 times Commonwealth Games, 3 times world champion, Steve Monaghetti.
That's a fantastic introduction. I don't need to say any more. Mona, we've spoken about this record. You played it down on Thursday night. You ran 17.5 or thereabouts a week or 2 ago, 16:28. Can you do it today?
Well, probably not, but I'll give it a red-hot go. You know, I'm just delighted to be back. You know, it's been so long, and as you know, you get to my age and you're happy just to be running, but I'm still running pretty well, and I'm just delighted to be on the start line, knowing I can have a crack.
Beautiful. If I know anything about Steve Monaghetti, he plays it down. So I'm back, and I'm putting my house on the fact that he has a red-hot crack at this record today, Pete.
What about this, though? Noosa, who wants to see Steve Monaghetti break that record? Make some noise. Now, we need you guys to give energy, not just to Monas, but to the whole field. We are possibly going to see a couple of records broken right here today. And Craig, we've got another one of our athletes ready to race.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Pete. I got Rose Davies here, who for mine is one of the favourites for the women. Did race in Burnie, probably coming off a little bit of a break after the World Championships and racing over in Europe this year. Rose, you've been in great form, running 15:07 in April at the Nationals earlier this year. Noosa, excited to be running here in the sunshine?
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been here since 2019, so good to be back.
It's been a long time for a lot of athletes. Obviously, last year was more of a local-based event. It's fantastic to have some interstate athletes here today. Rose, one of my favourites for the race today. Pete, good luck. Have a great race.
Yeah, well done, Craig Mottram. You can see now our athletes. Now, Craig, as said before, they don't start right here in front of the Garmin Beach Club. They do start up towards the Garth Proud Bridge. Our females will be the first start. 2 minutes later, we get our men underway. But this is what we call the ASICS Bolt. Some of Australia's best middle distance runners on the course.
Training program, week 3, day 4. Training program, week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
It pushes you forward. You sense its power.
As you exceed your limits. program, week 3, day 4. Training program, week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
It pushes you forward. You sense its power.
As you exceed your limits.
Yeah, well, the stage is set, folks. We are literally moments away from the ASICS Bolt. 5 kilometres of absolute speed on the run, where our females will start us underway, as we said before, 2 minutes later, the men. If all goes according to plan, right here at the finish line, we're going to see both our male and female champion possibly go side by side. Inside that 5K Bolt, we mentioned already, Steve Monaghetti is going for a world record, but the race up front, Jack Rayner, it's going to be absolutely epic. Can he break the record that's been around since 1999? 13:41, and in 2003, Craig Mottram, 13:43. So we're going to see a record. Jack's best time is a 13:59. Got a bit of time to make up, but today's the day. Perfect conditions for the ASICS Bolt. Craig Mottram, up to you.
Thank you, Pete. I'm standing up at the start line. We've got just over a minute or so to go. We're going to start with the women. They have 4 laps and a little bit of the track. So they're going to start just up beneath the Garth Power Bridge. They're going to make their way on the right-hand side of the road through the start-finishing arch, doing a U-turn at the roundabout. And then they have 4 laps to go, a total of 5 kilometres. We've got a fantastic field. Nearly 30 women in the field today. We've got a number of world-class athletes that have represented Australia internationally this year at the World Championships, at the Commonwealth Games, and certainly aspiring athletes for future Australian teams. Some debuting up to the 5,000 metre distance today. We've got young Claudia Hollingsworth, only 17 years old, represented Australia at the World Championships in the 800 this year, then went on to the World Junior Championships in the under-20 age group, again over 800. She's stepping up and debuting over 5,000 today, so look out for her. Fantastic to see her step up. And then in the men, we've spoken about it. The men are going to go 2 minutes after the women, with the idea that we have our first male, first female coming over the finish line at roughly the same time. So the men will be giving the women about 2 minutes head start, and they're going to go chasing. They're going to hunt them down on the streets of Noosa. Keeping in mind the women, I think last year, Pete, the winning time was 15:55. Benita Johnson holds the course record here at 15:22, set back in 2002. So they're going to have to run significantly quicker than they have done in the last few years to get anywhere near that record. I think something around the 15:45 to 16-minute mark will be where the women will be at today. So a fantastic top 5 women, very close on times, all around that 15-minute mark. The men, Jack Rayner, we've spoken about him. Fantastic form, national record last week in Burnie over 10K, 27:43. Knocked off a national 10K record. Is actually mine, if truth be known. I'm happy to say that. Beat that, which is fantastic, and that's a number of records that are getting knocked off by some of our elite men and women athletes running and representing Australia at the moment. They're doing a fantastic job. Jack Rayner has a tough job today, 13:41. Joseph Womeru, 1999 was when the course record was set. That's 23 years ago. Can Jack Rayner get that 13:41, knock it off and run 13:40? 2:42, 2:43 per kilometre is what he's got to hit. He's going to need the crowd today. He's going to need the 10,000 people we've got here in Noosa getting around him to get that record. And then also in the men's field, we've got Steve Monaghetti. We've spoken about him. 16:28 is what we've got to watch on the clock for Steve. He's not going to be going out with that front group. I know he's very good at pacing himself, coming traditionally from the marathon. He knows how to pace himself. He knows what shape he's in. He ran 17:20 or thereabouts a week ago. He's got to improve on that, but he can do it. If I know Mona, and I've raced him many times, I've trained with him over the years, he will give it a red-hot crack, and he said he will absolutely try his best in front of the Noosa crowd. He was here not long ago for his 60th birthday, and he's back here now in Noosa. I couldn't tell you how many times Pete he's raced here, but it's been a lot, a hell of a lot, as we come up to 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go, and we'll see the girls take off. Just a reminder for the athletes and for the crowd. They start, they run down towards the finishing line. They go under the finishing arch. They have 4 laps to complete, 4 1.25 kilometre laps to complete. And then our best athletes, male and female, will take out the coveted prize, which is the Noosa ASICS Bolt Championship. Many of our best runners in Australian history have won it, and internationally have won it. And I know, much like Ash Gentle wants to win tomorrow, There are a number of athletes that want to win today, and we look forward to watching them race. We have 30 seconds. I'm going to go quiet, and I'm going to hand over to the starter to get them going. "20 seconds, athletes, 20 seconds. All right, 15 seconds. I'm going to hand over to Mayor Stewart, who is going to get them underway in 10 seconds. All right, and our women are underway, Pete. They're going to be making their way down to you. I will be staying up here waiting for the men to get underway. As I've said, there's 2 minutes now, Pete, 2 minutes until the men get underway. Do you want to give us a shout out about what you're seeing down there?
All right, so you can see already the pace is on. Now, Noosa Parade, let's light this up. The Garmin Beach Club, put down the Chardonnay. Let's get the noise going. The best middle distance runners in Australia are right here, already going down to the ASICS turnaround. As Craig said, shortly our own open men in the Bolt will be getting underway. Down the roundabout, come on, make some noise. The first time of 4 laps. Making their way out, as Craig said, so important to drive out of there. Come on, Noosa, make some noise.
Thank you, Peter. I'm just standing up at the start. We've got about 1 minute. 1 minute until we get the men underway. The women will be making their way back towards me, heading out over the Garth crowd bridge for the first time. The men, 1 minute, gentlemen, before we get you underway. The man wearing number 40, Jack Rayner. Can he break the course record today? 13:41 is what the course record is. To his right is Ryan Gregson, wearing number 1, defending champion. As the women make their way past me. Let's go, ladies, get around them, Noosa.
All right, Craig, so just over 30 seconds. Our females are on course for the ASICS Bolt Super Saturday. Comes alive. We've still got our men's open criterion to come up at 20 seconds. Over to Craig Mottram, a 5-times champion here in Noosa.
Thank you, Pete. The boys have got 15 seconds. I'm going to hand over to the mayor to get them underway. But if Jack wants this record, he's going to have to get after it straight from the gun. They've got 10 seconds, gentlemen, 10 seconds. The girls will be making their way at the top corner. They'll be coming up behind the men. The men go hunting. Here we go, gentlemen. 2, 1. Let's go, boys, and the men are off. I'm going to make my way down to the start line with you, Pete. And it looks like Jack, definitely, from the gun, he's got intent here for that 13:41 course record. Wouldn't surprise me if he's got some help from his Melbourne Track Club athletes. Pete, I'm going to throw to you and I'll join you in a minute.
Well, here they come, guys. About 35 of our runners coming on through the ASICS Bowl. Jack Rayner has said, if I want this record, I've got to run 2:45 for 5 kilometres. And already, Craig Mottram, the pace is on. Rayner saying, this is my chance today to break the record. It's stood around since 1999. The drive out of the corner. Jack checks the Garmin. He says, I am on race pace, but going with him is number 3. They're starting to streak out already, but the pace is on, Craig Mottram. They're coming to you, buddy.
There is no doubt about it, Pete, that Jack Rayner is going for that record today. He's got company with him for now. He's got company with him for now. How long can Clarkie stay with him? Following Jack Rayner at 2:42, 2:43 pace is doable for the first few kilometres, and then that's when it starts to get tough. Remember, these guys are running well above threshold, so well above their anaerobic threshold, which means they are producing more lactate than they can get rid of for 14 minutes or so. So they are suffering from the beginning. And they are working strongly. As I turn around and have a look at the screen, I'm watching the Garth Proud Bridge as the boys make their way over there now. Jack Rayner has cleared out. He's got 30 metres, 40 metres already, and there's no questions about it. He is going for Joseph Kaweru's 1999 course record of 13:41.
Wow, record state for over 20 years. Is the day today in 2022 for a course record. Craig Mottram, a 13:43. The course record, 13:41. And in our ASICS Bolt, the female side, Craig, we can see the Garth Proud Bridge, the godfather of triathlon, named in his memory. But this is what it's all about, the best of the best at the iconic Noosa Tri.
Oh, absolutely, and it's been since 2019, Pete, was the last time I was here, and it is fantastic to be back in Noosa, and I know chatting to all the elite men's and women's field, they're pumped to be here. Jack Rayner making the turn, he's got Clarkie with him at the moment, the top end of the course. All right, they're making their way back over the guardrail bit as the girls make their way, nearly cleaning me up under the ASICS banner now. And we've got Rose Davies, one of the pre-race favourites, up the front, just following on Nat Rule's shoulder as they're making their way round the ASICS corner, the U-turn, the roundabout at the bottom end of the course. And the girls aren't mucking around by the look of it as well, Pete. They are moving. We are 4 minutes and 30 seconds into this race, and they are 3 laps to go. We've got Lauren Ryan in there wearing number 87. We've got Keely Small in there as well, doing a fantastic job. The race is on, and it's warm out here. The girls will be feeling it, as will the guys.
Yeah, you can see the flags there flying, a little bit of a breeze, only around 11 kilometres an hour, 28 degrees. And the pace is on. Already about 15 runners in that front group. That's where your race is going to come from.
Yeah, I think both the races today, they're going out with intent to run quickly. There's no mucking around here today. There's a group of 3 women as they come off the far side of the Garth Crowd Bridge. They're getting themselves clear of Lauren Ryan in 4th. And then it looks like we're getting a second pack that's just settling themselves actually in behind that lead group that's being led currently by Rose Davies, I think, by the look of it, and Lauren Ryan, who's just come back from America, who's sitting herself in 4th or 5th.
I tell you what, Craig, one of the great sides for middle distance running here in Noosa, hot dog course. And here comes Jack Rayner. He does have a bit of company with him, but the pace is on. There are 3 minutes 35 on the race clock for our gentlemen. What a race so far. 4 laps to go. 4 more laps.
They are smashing it. Jack Rayner, as we said, going for the record. But Maddie Clark in 2nd, doing an amazing job, has found form this year, has been running brilliantly. They're making their way around the bottom corner. But if we have a look at the screen, the girls wearing number 86. We've got number 86, which is Natalie Rule, is making her way back to the top end of the course, driving this pace. Both New Balance athletes, Rose Davies and Nat Rule, they'll be working together, I would imagine, and trying to grind this field into the ground.
I'll tell you one thing we saw there, Craig. We saw in the first act, Jack Rayner out of the roundabout, the body language. He went forward, he put the power down. He doesn't want to lose speed. He can't afford to lose speed on the turnaround. Steve Monaghetti, folks, come on, he's in that chase group, 60 plus. Can he take the world record today?
There is a lot going on. But if we focus our attention on the screen, which is what our viewers at home are getting, we've got Jack Rayner and Maddie Clark over the Garth Crowd Bid for the 3rd time, making their way to the far end of the course. And then we look back in the men's race, and we've got in our men's race, we've got Jack Bruce. Jack Bruce is running in 3rd at the moment as Mono makes his way around me. Pete is going off his head, watching Steve Monaghetti run. I don't know, do you want to watch the winners or do you want to watch Mono break the world record?
Oh, I want to watch it all. It's too much to take. It's the ASICS Bowl 2022. Our females are on course now for 6 or 7 minutes. 5 minutes of racing for our men. There's a lot of support for Monaghetti.
All right, and we can see, we'll just take a moment, we'll catch our breath as we watch the women turning at the far end of the course. They've got Nat Rule and Rose Davies still driving that front group, and we've got Jack Rayner and Maddie Clark driving the front 2. That pair have cleared out well and truly from the rest of the men's field, and they are on pace. We look to get a split in the next few minutes as they go through 3K.
Yeah, Craig Mottram, we have 10,000 people racing tomorrow. I challenge any one of them. If they can run 1 kilometre at 2:45, they're going very, very well. But we're going to see Max Rayner, or our winner in the men, run 5 consecutive kilometres around 2:45 to 2:50 pace.
Oh, they're absolutely flying. There's no doubt about it. The record is on. The record is on. Let me say that again. They are moving quickly. Jack is wearing the Garmin watch. He's checking it regularly. He is checking it regularly and making sure he is aware of what pace he's going. Caitlin Adams in the black, number 71, we can see on the screen as well, has joined Rose Davies and Nat Rule at the front. And those 3 are making their way under the ASICS finishing arch. Coming up, they're going under the ASICS finishing arch. It looked like it's going to be a race between 3. We've got Caitlin Adams, number 71. We've got Nat Rule in number 86 sitting in 3rd. And then we've got Rose Davies wearing number 71, just tucked in nice and closely behind in 2nd place. Now these girls, they'll be feeling the lactic now. They'll be working into the corners and they'll be looking to drive out of the corners, carrying their momentum, keeping the rhythm. And this is where the longer athletes, the steeplechasers, the 5 and 10K athletes are looking to start to do some damage. As we can see, Jack Rayner just making his way back to the finishing line now. Looks like he's doing some damage here on Maddie Clark. Looks like he's going to start to get a couple of metres. Is this the elastic band that we talk about? Is this that elastic band that as the pressure starts to come on, the athletes, they start to fill with lactic? And yes, I can see it myself. Jack Rayner has opened up 10 metres. 10 metres on Maddie Clark, bang on. 3, bang on. We're about 7 minutes into the race, so they'll be coming up to 3K. This is what we said at the beginning. Once you get to 3K, Ron Clark said to me, the great Ron Clark said to me years ago, between 3 and 4K is the hardest part of the race. In 5K running, the 3rd and 4th kilometres, they're the ones where you got to grind it. And Jack leans into the corner, drives out of it. Get around him, Noosa. He's on track for the record.
I tell you what, Craig, he looked strong on lap number 1 the first time he came through. 3 laps later, and he still looks like he's on form. He's taken the energy from the crowd. So, Noosa, don't be afraid to clap, to cheer. We are possibly going to see a record broken that stood since 1999.
23 years, Noosa, it is on here. Jack Rayner with a dirty moustache, looking $1 million over the bridge. We can see him now making his way out. He's going out, he'll do the U-turn, then he'll come back and he will be receiving the bell. He is on the home stretch. He is on the home stretch and looking strong.
I tell you one thing we're seeing with Jack Rayner, he's on the Garmin. Every 100 metres or so, he's checking that pace. But look at the race up front of our female Essex Bolt. We are getting to the business end. A lot of money up for grabs, a lot of prestige in this title, Craig Mottram.
Yeah, look, Caitlin Adams, number 71 at the front. She is driving it now, and she's got Rose Davies tucked in, getting the draft. If there is a draft, Rose Davies is getting it at the moment. The girls taking the shortest possible line around the corner.
Sorry, Craig, just at the roundabout now. Noosa, 60 years plus on world record pace. Give it up for Steve Monaghetti. He's coming through.
Come on, Noosa, let's get around Mona. He makes his way past the VIP tent. It's happening. The girls are coming around to receive the bell. They won't be far off. The girls are making their way back over the Garth Proud Bridge. Steve Monaghetti, if you are up, just up at the Sofitel at the Garth Proud Bridge, get around Mona. He is trying for that 16:28 world record. As we keep an eye on the screen, Jack Rayner and the girls making their way back. The girls are coming up to the Garth Proud Bridge. No, they're not. I got that wrong. They're doing a U-turn at the top end. Here they come, making their way back to us. The girls, they're on it 11.5 minutes or so on the clock at the moment, Pete, and they are moving.
Now, Craig Mottram, you've been here, you've done that not once but 5 times. This is when the legs start burning. This is when the lactate starts building up, the heart rate floating around 200 beats a minute. You've got a red line race this final stretch. If Jack Rayner has any chance his record, he's got to hold strong. He's got to dig deep in this final stretch.
He does, as we spoke about at the beginning. He will be above threshold the entire way, so his body will be screaming at him at the moment. He is pushing in and out of those corners, driving the arms up and over Garth Proud Bridge, trying to maintain his form. His technique and rhythm is everything at the moment. He'll be making his way up to 3.5, nearly 4 kilometres on Jack Rayner's clock, and I'm looking at the screen and I've got Caitlin Adams. Caitlin Adams, ladies and gentlemen, has got 10 metres on Rose Davies. She's doing some damage, having a look at the watch, checking the time, checking the pace. Our leaders are coming through. The finishing arcs. They're receiving the bell. There's 12 minutes and 10 seconds. 12 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. They have 1.25 kilometres. 1.25 kilometres to go. Lauren Ryan moving her way into 3rd. Do not discount Lauren Ryan running her way into 2nd and possibly even 1st. She's come back from the US. She's in great shape as Jack Rayner starts to make his way through the 4th and 5th girls. Can Jack Rayner catch Caitlin Adams? This giving him the 2 minutes head start as Jack Rayner turns. Jack Rayner is on his final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Noosa. He's wearing number 40. He's trying to run 13:40. Come on, Jack. Let's go as he makes his way past the 3rd female, Lauren Ryan. Working up on a Rose Davies, and he's going out to try to catch those women.
I tell you one thing, Craig Mottram, he's on race record pace. He's up now to 11 minutes of running, under a K to go, and this could be a record that has not been thought of since 1999.
He has to run the last 800 metres in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. He's got to run the last 800 in 2:12.
Can he do it?
Yes, he can. He closed in Burnie the last 3 kilometres in 8:07. 8:07 in Burnie for the last 3 kilometres. He's going to have to pick it up from that, but he can do it.
Now we're talking about Jack Rayner, but what about the race up front in our female? There's not 1, there's 2, there's 3 runners still in the mix for the Essex Bolt
We've got
title.
Caitlin Adams, who's leading. I know our viewers are watching Jack Rayner on the Garth Proud Bridge emotion, but we've got Caitlin Adams, 13:40 on the clock. That is the live time for the women. She will be turning at the top corner now. Rose Davies has just been passed for 2nd by Lauren Ryan, and Lauren Ryan is coming hard as Jack Rayner can see can see Caitlin Adams. He can see her. He's looking at her back. He's got 10 metres before he catches the first female. And both the men and women's leaders are going to turn together with 500 metres to go.
Isn't it electric? The Noosa parade is lighting up. Jack Rayner, so close now. They've been racing the female side 14 minutes 10, 12 minutes 10 for Jack Rayner so far.
He's got a minute and a half. He's got a minute and a half to run 500 metres. He's turning around. There's about 500 metres from here. 500 metres for Jack Rayner. He's got a minute and 10 to run 500 metres. Oh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be close. Anything around 13:40, 13:50 is a hell of a run. He's had a crack. We know that. Jack Rayner and Caitlin Adams, our men's and women's leaders, will be with us in a minute, Pete.
No, he's right. His best time is 13:59. He's going to smash that. We know that, but has he got the time to go close to that record?
Well, we can see him. He's just overtaken. He's just overtaken Caitlin, our women's leader. And Jack has got 300 metres to go. You're going to see him over the Garth Proud Bridge. Monaghetti! Steve Monaghetti's heading out. He's reached the bell lap and he is now 900 metres to go. We are going to call him in any minute now, Pete Garth. We've got Jack Rayner making his way up the final climb over the Garth Proud Bridge, and we will see him coming down that final 200 metres, passing the start line, and he is pouring it on. He is giving it everything he's got, and he is at 13:15 on the clock. 13:15 on the clock. He's got 20 seconds from here. 20 seconds from here. I think he's going to fall just a little bit short. Let's get around him. It's going to be close. And we got the bangers going as we bring it in. Jack Rayner, your men's winner, your men's leader. He's got 100 metres to go. Let's bring him in around the corner, past the Sofitel. Bring it in. We got 13:40, so the course record. He's going to miss it this year, ladies and gentlemen. But he's going to run the third fastest time ever in Noosa, 13:50, 13:51, 52. Jack Rayner, 13:53. And then right behind Jack, we've got Caitlin, who's coming in to take out the women's. What do we got on the clock? What do we got on the clock? 16:01, 16:02. Fantastic running. We've got our men's and women's leaders that have come in. Well done, guys. And Lauren Ryan, we spoke about her, making her way back from the US, bringing herself through the field. Lauren Ryan in third. Well done, Lauren. Great running. And we've got Jack Bruce, who's had a hell of a run, who's come through. Matty Clark, he's run conservatively. He's made his way through. As we got Callum Davies and Ryan Gregson comes in for fourth place. Rose Davies comes in for third. Well done, gentlemen. Jude Thomas has finished strongly as well as they're making their way through the finishing line. Well done, you guys. Fantastic running. It is hot. We spoke about it here at Noosa. It's nearly 30 degrees on the track. I know, I'm sweating. And we've got Matty Clark wearing number 3. Brave effort. Matty went out with Jack Rayner and suffered a bit in the last few minutes, but he is coming on. And we've got 14. What do we got? 15:57 on the clock. Mona's got 30 seconds. 15 now, sorry. He's got a minute and 20. A minute and 20 for Steve Monaghetti to get himself over the finish line to have a crack at that world record, the over 60s. I'm looking up the track. The camera's focusing up the track. Can we see Steve Monaghetti? He'll be close to the Garth Proud Bridge now. He's got what? What's he got? 15:20 on the clock. He's got 1 minute. 1 minute and 5 seconds from now. Claudia Hollingsworth, we spoke about her, the 17-year-old phenom from Melbourne, represented Australia in the 800 at the World Champs and World Junior Champs this year. Well done, debuting into 5K today. There is Mona on the screen. There is Mona on the screen. What are we on the clock, Pete? We are at 15:42, 15:43. If I said I know Mona, I know he'll be playing it down. He'll be playing it down. He's going over the Garth Proud Bridge at the moment. Steve Monaghetti, he's got, what has he got? 30 seconds for Steve Monaghetti to run the last 200 metres. I'm not sure his legs are going to get him there. Come on, Noosa. 30 seconds for a 60-year-old for 200. That's good going. It's 16 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. 16:28 is what he's going for. Here he comes, Noosa, making his way around the final turn. I can see him. Here he comes. He's got 100 to go. What's on the clock? He's got 16:20. He's got 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3. I think he's going to fall short. 2, 1. 16:30. Misses it by 2 seconds. What a run by Steve Monaghetti. 16:30 or thereabouts for Mona. Well done, buddy. All right, I've got Jack Rayner. Well, Steve Monaghetti looks like he's about to pass out there. Jack, you couldn't blow out a candle Hell of a run, buddy. You went out from the beginning. You know you're in good shape. You had an amazing year. What was the plan today? Because you really went for it.
I had no idea what the record was till you announced it on the start line, so I thought, it's maybe possible. So, yeah, I went out a little bit hard in the first K, I think, so paid the price for it a little bit in the last K, I think, so. But no, solid run.
And you were checking the Garmin watch quite a bit when you were out there. It is a Garmin, I'm assuming. Of course, it's a Garmin. What was the first K? Did you get a look?
2:35 or something.
2:35 per kilometre. So to break that down, that's 62 seconds for 400 back-to-back and then half a lap. That is 12 minutes and 55 seconds for 5K pace, so possibly a touch quick. But you went in and you had a go. Obviously, fantastic shape in Burnie, the 10K national record this year. Had a crack at the 5K Noosa record of 13:41, Joseph Ulmeru, 1999. What's the summer looking like for Jack? Obviously, you've got a few fun days in Noosa ahead. Tell us what you're going to do tonight to celebrate your win, and then what does it look like over the next 6 months?
Definitely a few beers tonight, and then Australian 10K champs is December, so that'll be like the next big race. And then we've actually got World Cross Country in Bathurst this year. That's in February, so yeah, I'll be gearing up for that. Yeah.
I think you guys are in this purple patch in distance running in Australia at the moment. Our men's and women's athletes are going phenomenal. We've also got the World Cross Champs and then Com Games in 2026. Good luck, Jack. We look forward to watching you out there. Well done today.
Yeah, thanks very much, Craig Mottram. Down with our 2022 Noosa Bowl champion, Caitlin Adams. Congratulations. What a run. You are etched now in history on one of the great middle distance courses. Congratulations. What a race.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be back here. It's one of my favourite races on the calendar, mostly because of this atmosphere. So thank you so much, everyone, for cheering, because it took away my pain. I just listened to the screams.
Now, Caitlin, it wasn't an easy race. There was a big group early in the 5K. It did come down to the last lap. You kind of bit the bullet. You said, if I want this win, I've got to break it now and hold on, and that you did. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, my training's been going really well lately, and so I knew that there's a lot of good kickers in this field. So if I wanted to go, I had to make a move hard and probably pretty early out too, just to really run off of pure strength. But I did think I went too early with 2 laps to go, so I was a little bit worried, but still had an extra gear left.
Right to 2022, ASICS Bowl champion, Caitlin Adams, well done. Craig Mottram, what a race, my friend. It was epic. We had 2 great champions. Monaghetti put on a performance, probably the second fastest time in the world, and what a race.
Look, it's been fantastic. Both the men's and women's, I think, Nat Rule, Rose Davies, Caitlin Adams, those 3 were the in-form athletes today coming into the race, and they delivered. Fair bit of strategy in the women's race. We thought that from the beginning, and then Jack, no strategy there, just flat out from the gun.
All right, we're going to throw to a break. We've got more action coming up, including the men's Australian criterium. This is Noosa. This is Super Saturday.
Training program, week 3, day 4. Training program, week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
It pushes you forward. You sense its power.
As you exceed your limits.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the ASICS Noosa Bowl. What a cracking event it was again in 2022. For me, it's been 3 years since I was back in Noosa, and to come and experience the atmosphere as it was for the athletes, again, fantastic to be here. Well done to all of those spectators that came out and watched. Well done to those in the Garmin Beach Club up there for getting behind our athletes. I've got the results in front of me. I'm not going to go through the top 3 men and women. We're going to go through the results as we present the awards to them in a minute. But I've got Steve Monaghetti. Now, just to recap Steve Monaghetti, 16:28 was the world record. 16:28 still is the world record for the over 60 age group. 16:34 for Monaghetti today. So very, very close for Steve Monaghetti. So before we introduce our top three, let's give Steve Monaghetti a quick round of applause. 16:34, well done. Okay, we're going to get the girls' presentation, our ladies underway to begin with. Fantastic race between our top three today. I am going to introduce our third place finisher today, the 22 ASICS Noosa Bolt, Rose Davies. If she wants to make her way up into third place, Rose Davies, well done. In third today in a time of 16:26. In second place, all the way from the USA, back from the USA, in Queensland for a little bit and in Victoria, Lauren Ryan, well done Lauren Ryan, fantastic. The girls are presented with their flowers and their cheque, most importantly, which will go on the bar, no doubt, for Lauren this afternoon. And our winner of the 2022 ASICS Bolt is Caitlin Adams. Beautiful run from Caitlin today, well done. In 16:05 was our winning time today. Well done to our three place getters, Rose Davies in third, Lauren Ryan in second, and Caitlin Adams taking out the 2022 Noosa Bolt. Well done, ladies.
Can you come together? Yeah, jump up. Hold up, Cloud.
All right, all eyes on the finishing area to the left of the Garmin beach tent at the moment, as our ladies historically have struggled with the champagne. Not quite sure what they're doing. Give it a good shake, take the top off it, there you go. And oh my God, we've lost a cork into Matty, who's got a cork into his chest as he prepares to commentate the boys' criterium in a minute. Outstanding job, ladies, champagne done. As they celebrate a great performance, and they're starting to plan what they're going to get up to later on tonight. There is no doubt about that. And we're going to move straight on to the men's results for the ASICS 22 Noosa Bolt. In third place, a local boy, Callum Davies, in a time of 14:24. That's a big run for Callum Davies, who 1,500 just a couple of nights ago, moving up to 5K. So well done to Callum, third place in 14:24. Second place, Jack Bruce. Jack Bruce running conservatively early and making his way through the field. And our winner today, very brave Jack Rayner, going out trying to brag the 23-year-old course record of 13:41, finishing in 13:53, Jack Rayner. There are your top three place getters in the 2022 ASICS Noosa Bolt.
Do you want to jump up together? Hold them up, round up. Up you go. Up here, boys! Up here, yeah. There you go. Nice one. Thanks, mate. Champagne?
All right, well done, gentlemen. Well done, ladies. All right, let's see how the boys go with the champagne now. They've had a bit more practice, I'd imagine. Jack would have practiced this in Burnie last week. There he goes, very well. Jack Rayner, Jack Bruce, and Callum Davies still struggling. There he goes. Well done, gentlemen. No doubt Jack will finish off that bottle while he's still standing on the top step. I am now going to throw back to Pete in the host tent. Over to you, buddy.
Well done, Craig Mottram. What a race it was in the ASICS Bolt. And we are up here in the Garmin Beach Club. We're talking to a man who 3 weeks ago set the stage alive on the Ironman World Championships on the big island of Hawaii. We call it Kona, the Ironman World Championships, the new breed, the real deal of Australian Ironman racing. Max Newman joins us here in Noosa. Max, fourth place last weekend. 3 weeks ago. Congratulations, the race of your life.
Yeah, it's a special race, Kona. I think just going there and experiencing what the race has to offer after 3 years of not being able to go there just makes it that little bit extra special. And I guess to have a performance of my career there on the day that matters is, extra special.
Now, Max, the race of your life, there was all talk before the race. It was all about the Norwegians, Christian Blumenfeld, Gustav Iden, but the Frenchman, Laidlow, he really put up there, but the Aussie, the flying young Aussie from Brisbane here in Queensland, what a race, mate. 7:41. The top four of you went under the world record of 7:51. You must be absolutely stoked with that time, a fourth place at the World Champs.
Yeah, to get fourth, I guess, is pretty cruel to break the course record. But yeah, I guess just to be in the company of those athletes is something to be proud of, and I think it's something that we can really work on over the next sort of 10 years of my career. And yeah, a world title 1 year will be absolutely something I'd go for sure.
Yeah, we can see some of the vision on the big screen. There's that 3.8 kilometre swim, the 180 kilometre cycle up on the Queen K up to Harvey, and then the gruelling run, including a lead drive, of course, up into the Energy Lab. And what great footage. There he is there, Maxi Newman. Talk us through this, Max. This is where the big boys, laid low from France, came up. And what was he said there? What would he just say?
Yeah, no, he wanted to work with me, and I basically said, no, I'm not. I'm not pulling. Sam Laidlow is the best cyclist in the sport, and I just knew if I had to have a good day, it would be just sit in and hopefully run with the Norwegians. But yeah, Gustav put out a 2:36 in Kona, which is almost 4 minutes quicker than the previous best ever run time. Yeah, that little scuffle there with Blumenfeld. Yeah, it's just cool to be up there, after all our 3 years of hard work to finally get to Kona and to be mixing it with the big boys is, yeah, it's exciting, and yeah, I look forward to the next couple of years. Mate,
there's the shot that says 1,000 stories. I mean, a lot of relief, a lot of satisfaction. You are on the world stage, Max Newman, 3 times Asia Pacific champion. You did that via Cairns. Mate, to race the biggest dance in the world, the crowds are amazing. It's a tough race, but again, 4th place on debut, that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think those shots there, that was the last time I remember that finish line. I was in medical for 2 hours, and it's just the most grueling race you can ever imagine. And yeah, I hope next year I don't end up passed out, but yeah, let's hope we can go back with a vengeance and yeah, prepare better, I guess.
Mate, you've come home, you train with your brother Mitch. The combination, of course, must be working. Your results have been outstanding. Your run, your bike and swim are all spectacular. Tomorrow, you go from a 7-hour 40 race to about a 1-hour 40 race. First of all, how have you pulled up? Are you ready to race some short course racing?
Yeah, it's taken definitely the full 3 weeks to even feel like myself. I really thought I'd be all right with 3 weeks. I thought, 1 week easy and then 2 weeks into some faster stuff for Noosa. But yeah, it took me pretty much out for 2 weeks of basically doing nothing, just getting up and hoping I could go to the pool in the morning. But yeah, I've had a good last week, and I think with the field we got here with Burt Whistle and Willen, yeah, I guess if you can't run a 30-minute 10K, it's going to be hard to win it. So yeah, we've made some plans to win, and hopefully we'll have the legs.
Well, we'll see it all tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. This is the man, the real deal, the superstar of Ironman racing here in Australia, Max Newman. He is racing here in Noosa once again. But Max, thanks for your time, mate. All the best. And finally, when are we going to see your race? Ironman Western Australia, is it true about the rumours?
Yeah, no, possibly. Still
okay,
unsure,
that's all we need to know. We'll take it on that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Max Newman, 4th in the world of Ironman racing. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back with Matt Keenan, the voice of cycling for the Australian Open Criterium for Men.
We're down to the last event of the afternoon on Super Saturday, and it is the Australian Open Criterium. We've got a couple of additional starters from the original start list, and one of them is Caden Groves, who's off the back of what has been a brilliant season. Another one in the yellow, Chris Harper. Next time through, you can stop and have a chat with me. There's Caden Groves, one of the contenders. Looking forward to seeing him in action. One of the fastest sprinters in the world, Caden Groves. It's been a breakout season for him. He's had a couple of brilliant successes throughout the year. And Chris Harper in the yellow colours. Chris, come on down. Riding for the famous Jumbo-Visma team. In these colours, Chris, probably for the last time with a number on.
Yeah, I think so. Edmo and I were talking about it, and we were like, this is our last race in team colours, probably. So, yeah, exciting. I've never done this before, so, yeah, it should be fun.
And next year, Bike Exchange, an exciting time for you with Australia's biggest team.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. Already been to a short camp with them, and, yeah, very motivated for next year.
So you haven't had a holiday?
I have, actually, which is a bit of a worry for this. I've had a couple of weeks off the bike, so it'll be a nice little engine starter.
This will be a real test. It's not exactly your sort of course. They need to make a really big hill in the middle of it.
Yeah, I don't think the bridge is long enough for me to make a difference, but yeah, I'll try my best anyway and help out where I can.
Good luck. I was happy to see you on the start list. I saw you wandering around the streets of Noosa, and I couldn't work out whether you were starting or not. I'm happy to see you here. You may as well stay up at the front of the grid. That's the best place to start a criterium from. Have we got Liam Walsh down there, the defending champion? Liam in the giant colours. If you can make your way down towards the start line. Last year's winner, Liam Walsh. Put your hands together for the man who won this race last year, Liam Walsh. Mate, you've got some stiff competition this year. Caden Grove's a late starter. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, the field's a bit stronger than last year, but yeah, it's always good to have the pros back, and they make the race nice and hard and good, yeah, head up to the start of next year, which is what it's all about.
There's no pressure on you, but you know how to get it done.
Yeah, well, I'm here as an individual, got no teammates, so I'll just surf the bunch, see what happens, and if I can have a hit out down the home straight, then we'll have a shot.
I love it. He's already deflecting the pressure onto the others, and he's an absolute contender. Let's take a look at who else we've got down there. Craig Wiggins. Are you amongst the starters? We've got Craig Wiggins on the start line. Recent winner of a stage at the Tour of Langkawi. Squeezing his way through. Craig Wiggins, he's made the trip all the way from WA. It's always a long trip for Craig Wiggins to go to any bike race. Craig, a win at the Tour of Langkawi in strange circumstances, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, very happy with that one, especially after the few years I've had. So, yeah, keen to get one on the board.
What was it like when the news came through that you'd actually won? You went across the finish line second, but there was a relegation.
Yeah, it was obviously it was very rewarding, but it's not the way you want to win a bike race. And we were trying to win another one throughout the tour, but it didn't happen. So hopefully that sets me up for next year, though.
Good luck. You're certainly going to be one to watch. And we're also looking for another man who's a former Australian, or the current Australian under-23 champion, Blake Quick. Quick by name and quick by nature. Blake Quick, make your way up. It's been a big season for you, Blake, and you're off to Bike Exchange next year.
Yeah, very big season for me. Exciting things to come.
And I was a little disappointed for you that you didn't get selected for the World Championships in Wollongong. But now, here's your moment to just send another message of how fast you are.
Yeah, I was pretty gutted I didn't get to go to Worlds either. A bit political with that, but I probably can't say too much without getting myself in trouble. But yeah, real shame, but really good to be here.
Well, stay up the front, stay out of trouble. I'm looking forward to seeing you in action. Jared Drisner is also on the start list. Is Jared hiding towards the back? He is. He's in the red colours of Lotto Soudal, a winner this year of the King of the Mountains classification of the Tour of Poland, and a former Australian under-23 champion. Put your hands together for Jared Drisner. Now, what a way it was for you to start your professional career at the UAE Tour. That was a brutal crash.
Yeah, it was. I don't really want to talk about it pre-race, but yeah, not the way I was looking to start my pro career, that's for sure.
I think we learned a lot about you, though, and your resilience, the way you came back from that and finished the season so strongly.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to think so. Yeah, happy to finish off positively in Langkawi, and looking forward to next year already.
And good to be back on home roads, essentially, and having a race, pinning the number on?
Yeah, unreal to be back here. Last time I was here was 2019, and yeah, it was a good time, so happy to be back.
Good luck today. And one more to bring up. He's just been calling for a pump. He's a multiple world champion on the track, three-time world champion on the track, Olympic Games silver medalist in the colours of Bike Exchange, probably for the last time. Put your hands together for Alex Edmondson. Is this your last race in Bike Exchange colours?
Definitely at this sort of level. I think maybe I might do a cheeky little crit back in South Australia, but I think it's one way to go out. It's been a lovely time for the last 7 years with Bike Exchange, but for next year it's going to be a new start.
we're going to be watching you really closely, particularly one kid in the Keenan family. Let's bring up the rest of the group as I'll hand over the microphone to the Chief Commissaire to give the riders their instructions.
All right, thanks, Matt. So, fellas, this afternoon you're racing for 45 minutes plus 3 laps. There'll be one intermediate sprint around halfway through. Pits will close 5 laps before the end of the race, which means that if you have an incident, you'll need to be chasing. Prior to that, if you come and see myself or the other 3 commissaires on course, if you have an incident, to get your lap out. Otherwise, yeah, keep an eye out for the red flag for a withdrawal. Otherwise, we're about 40 seconds from the start. Have a great race.
30 seconds to go before we get started. As you heard from the Chief Commissaire, 45 minutes plus 3 laps, intermediate sprint along the way, and that is at the discretion of the commissaires. 20 seconds to go. 15 seconds before we get started. Chris Harper, could you look any more relaxed? Ready to start racing. A little tickle under the armpit from Alex Edmondson. Down to 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're underway for the Australian Open Criterium in Noosa.
Take it, Bill. Not moving. Use the board.
Pete Murray, back roadside. The racing is underway. It's a big field. There's plenty of starters. We've got some additional starters, including Caden Groves, the big sprinter from Bike Exchange. He's going to be really tough to beat today.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth in this field, as you said, Matt. In your introduction, there's not 1 or 2. There's a host of athletes and cyclists to look out for. They're just touching the pedals at the moment, just warming up the track. 45 minutes of racing, 3 laps to go. We saw some exciting racing to kick-start the Super Saturday, Matty, and I'll tell you what, we're going to finish in the same style.
Yeah, we are. I introduced Jared Drisnes at the start, who rides for Lotto Soudal in the distinctive red colours, and I mentioned a crash that he had at the start of the year, his first big pro race for that team at the Tour of the UAE. Understandably, he didn't want to talk about that crash. It was a massive fall, but what we learn about him is how tough he is mentally to come back from that. He came back, went to the Tour of Poland, back into the season in August, won the King of the Mountains classification, then made a start in his first Grand Tour at the Volta a España.
I don't think you realise how good these men are on the bikes. It's virtually handlebar to handlebar, shoulder to shoulder. And they're winding it up, and already number 35 tries to get away there, 35, and the chase group now, you can see the power required. The wattage that they're pumping out on the back there is quite amazing.
The attacks are underway early. In fact, there are 2 intermediate sprints, so 2 cash prizes up for grabs throughout the race. It's at the discretion of the commissaires to make the decision as to when they have those intermediate sprints. Pete, you and I have been spoilt by our respective daughters, both trying to feed us here, courtesy of the Garmin beach tent, and you've just knocked your daughter back and said, no, I'm all done.
Well, I got to be honest, when you were doing the great introductions, I was up in the tower having a couple of 2 little burgers, so I do apologise, I'm fed, I've got the energy, but Matty, I'll guide you through, we're okay.
Okay, very good. Well, there's been an early fall, so the riders involved in the crash, though, will get a lap out to rejoin the race in the same position where they left off. And this is where the bigger field, close to 50 riders in this race, Pete, it gets really congested early at either of the corners.
Yeah, we saw that already. A little breakaway, mini breakaway very early. The roads are not super wide, but the talent is super strong. And they're coming over the Garth Proud Bridge. We mentioned Garth Proud every time in commentary, the man, the godfather of Australian triathlon, the man that got the Noosa Tri weekend up and running in 1983.
He got it started and he helped grow it. The big attack from Cameron Wright. He's got exceptional bike handling skills, Cameron Wright. Chris Harper is the next one through in the yellow colours, leading the peloton. Jared Drisner's in third spot within that peloton, riding good position early. Really smart bike rider, Jared Drisner's.
Yeah, I tell you one thing we heard there, Matt, is they came out of the roundabout, the changing of gears. They're putting it down, big chain with it, pumping it down to probably a, 11 or 12 to grind out the power up towards Garth Proud Bridge. Fast and furious racing. This is the Noosa Australian criterion for men. For all those athletes racing tomorrow, make sure you enjoy the last part of the afternoon. Get yourself ready. Make sure you do know your start time on Noosa Beach tomorrow morning. We've had, there they are, the two riders that went down and joined the peloton. And as you said, Matt, they are allowed to do that. It's an unfortunate thing to see, but they're still in the race.
They look uninjured, and it's actually not a bad outcome because they crash near the back of the peloton. They start back at the front of the peloton. If you can fall like that, not get injured, it's pretty good.
You're not implying anything, I hope, Matty. But this is it. What about the weather, Matt? We've got perfect conditions racing today. As you said, a light breeze, around 11 kilometres an hour, no major effect. The sun's out, the power's on, and this is what it's all about, the best of the best right here in Noosa.
What is noticeable early is that Chris Harper, Jared Drisner's, Caden Groves, Alex Edmondson, they're all making sure they're towards the front. They're staying out of trouble, trying to stay safe. Chris Harper leading them through. It's going to be difficult for anybody to attack whilst Chris Harper is on the front setting that tempo.
Yeah, the safest place to be in that Rhyme hot dog turnaround, of course, is up in the front couple of wheels. And again, look at the power out of the saddle, the power on those bars, how they're holding on to grind the pedals. It's absolutely amazing. Massive wattage coming out of those roundabouts.
And as noted, Caden Groves, I didn't have a chat to Caden Groves before we got started. I should have had a chat to him. Caden Groves has had an exceptional season. A stage victory at the Volta de España. He's got incredible form. New team next year. He's going across to the Alpecin de Koenig team with the likes of Matthew van der Poel. So this will be his last major race in the Bike Exchange colours.
Now, if you look at the history of this race, we've had some of the world's best. Robbie McEwen, we mentioned in our introduction. No introduction needed for Robbie McEwen. We've had superstars of the world here in Noosa, and today's no different.
No introduction needed, but Robbie would take it if he was here. One of the members of the Walk of Fame, Robbie McEwen, inducted in 2019.
Yeah, what it is all about. This is hot dog racing, 45 minutes. When they get to the 45 minutes, the commissaire rings the bell and says, gentlemen, 3 laps to go, 3 laps of pain to get to that finish line.
My favourite victory here by Robbie McEwen was the one after he'd retired. But he'd been retired for, about a season, maybe slightly less, because he retired midway through his first season with Bike Exchange. And he was working as a lead-out coach, and a lead-out coach for Lee Howard. Robbie won and Lee was second.
Oh, I must admit, though, I do like it when the coach beats the athlete. But, yeah, that wasn't the plan for Robbie McEwen. Here they are, folks, coming back to town.
Josh Beekoff trying to move up the outside, also trying to improve his position. It's been all Chris Harper at the front. A late starter has been just dominating the front of the race, setting a tempo that makes it impossible for anybody to move who's stuck down towards the back.
Yeah, we're wondering what speed they're sitting on. They're sitting on around 48 to 50 kilometres an hour. When they do an attack, that goes up to around 65, 70 kilometres. But you can see already there's been a couple of casualties in the race. The pace is on really early, man. We see this quite often, but that's what these guys are. They are the best in the world. They do this week in, week out, every country they travel. And today, it's our turn here in Queensland.
And for the first time, it's not Chris Harper on the front of the peloton. And as a result of that, we're seeing an attack as the peloton makes their way over the top of Garth Proud Bridge. This is the first serious move, Pete. One rider, solo off the front. And this is a strong move by Ben Carmen. Had a horrible crash in the National Road Series a few years ago. He's been really strong throughout 2022. And Ben Carmen is riding well. Controlling the belts, but still Chris Harper at the front. Just one man ahead with about a 4-second advantage by himself.
Tell you what, it's very healthy. It's the crowd out here today. Tomorrow we'll expect the same as we go to the 39th edition of this iconic race, one of the biggest and best in the world. We do call it the Noosa Tri, a name etched in history with some of our world and Olympic superstars being previous winners. Will Gentle, clock up number 9. She is the queen of Noosa, but number 9, absolutely remarkable. If she can do it, won't have it all her own way.
She's the unbackable favourite, and she has skipped the 70.3 World Championships to be here. She's chosen Noosa over Utah. But Pete, as a Victorian, growing up in Melbourne and also a cyclist training with quite a few triathletes, this was the event they spoke about the most.
Yeah, as a New South Wales resident as well. All roads lead to Queensland. They lead to Noosa, and tomorrow Noosa Parade really lights up as riders go out onto the 40k course. They run a part of Noosa Parade for the 10k. Who will be our champion in 2022? Stay tuned tomorrow morning.
And the broadcast will get underway at 5:45 local time in Queensland, which is 6:45 Australian Daylight Savings Time. That's almost a half hour leading to the first athletes getting underway. The elite men to start in the water, followed a couple minutes later by the elite women.
Yeah, you can follow all the action, of course, on the Noosa Tri Facebook page, also the YouTube channel at noosatri.com. Follow all the action with Nat Keenan, PG, great job.
James Panizza leads the charge. Edmondson is the one who responds. It's then Jared Drisners. I like this. One of the riders from Bridge Lane, the National Road Series riders, taking it up to the World Tour men, and he's caused a few problems. A couple of gaps beginning to open up.
Now field slowly dwindling away. Hey, does it get better? Saturday afternoon, beautiful weather, Noosa, ACDC. I tell you what, it's Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Pump it up, DJ. All right, if you're on those boards, lean over, make some noise, bang in time if you can. I know it's hard for the blokes, but the females, I know you can keep us in time.
Ben Carmen again, trying to get off the front. Chris Harper takes up the chase. Ben Carmen uses every millimetre of the road. Almost gave the witches had a haircut.
Oh, we said before, the skills of these riders is absolutely amazing. We said they're sitting on 50k an hour. They've got riders elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, and they still keep those bikes upright. It truly is remarkable racing. That's why they are the best in the world. Downtown Noosa Parade.
We're going to see the elastic snap for a few of these riders at the back. The back of the peloton is the hardest spot to be. They lose more momentum through the corners than those at the front. So then they have to sprint harder to get back up to speed, yet they're already at the limit. We're not going to finish with this many riders by the end of the 45 minutes.
Yeah, the wattage goes up, it goes down. The heart rate floats up around, as you said, 180 plus. It comes down, no chance to recover. But number 6 takes us through.
Josh Beacock for the second time dives into the bottom corner, sprints out of the corner too. Super strong acceleration. James Panizza is the rider who's trying to go with him from Bridge Lane. Good to see a couple of locals taking it up to our World Tour stars. Been racing now, Pete, for 14 minutes. 45-minute race, 2 intermediate sprints. We can't be far away from the first whistle. I don't want to try and influence the commissaires, but we do glare at them longingly.
Yeah, we'll hear that whistle. I've got a funny feeling you're on the right track. A bit different to our female. Instead of one preem, we do throw in 2 preems within the 45 minutes. What the preems simply mean, you get the whistle, 1 lap of power, take home a little bonus, a little cash bonus. Will go pretty well around Noosa tonight.
James Peniza still on the front from Ridge Lane. He's been nice and aggressive. There goes the whistle. Edmondson and then Drisner's up towards the front. Got themselves in a good position, followed by Cam Bailey in the black. Ben Carman next around the corner. Got himself well placed. So too is Tom Chapman from Bridge Lane.
Oh, just look at the power out of that roundabout every single time. Those front riders have got power going down. The back guys are under brace. They're slowing down. They know they can't get too much time away up the front. This is what it's all about. We're on our preem lap.
And Cam Bailey in 4th spot in the black colours is a genuine chance here. Bailey is quick. Drisner's checks across the shoulder. James Peniza still at the front, controlling the tempo. He's got a teammate, Tom Chapman, who's in around about 6th or 7th position.
Yeah, of course, 39 edition. It did start on Wednesday with our run, swim, run. Friday we saw our ASICS Noosa breakfast fun run. Of course, yesterday the 2 times you swim 1,000 on the main beach in Noosa this morning. Maddie and I and Rudy were out the kids, Super Kids Try and the Tingerana Special Try. And today, 4 events to wrap up Super Saturday.
And the attack is on for the intermediate sprint to try and pick up the small cash prize. And riders who don't believe they can win the race often look for this first cash prize to make sure they secure something. And then the pressure is off to see what sort of result they can pick up at the end. But this is a good move, a smart move to take the cash prize. Well played. Taking out the prize, that's Nick Pedler. Brilliant performance, Nick. And he's trying to go on with it.
Yeah, it's a big call to win the preem and go on. So the first preem just over 15 minutes into our race. We've got 45 minutes and we're going to throw 3 laps on top to get from start to finish. The Garth Proud Bridge doing all of our Super Saturday in the race. So proud. The great man, Garth Proud, looking on from above. We said before, the godfather of triathlon throughout Australia, the man who had the brains, who had the vision to develop this race into one of the most iconic races in the world. And today we celebrate, or this weekend, sorry, we celebrate 39 years of this race. 39 years of one of the best races you'll ever see.
Nick Pedler has now been caught by the peloton as Chris Harper takes over the pacemaking yet again. Really pleased with the signing of Chris Harper across to the Bike Exchange team. I think it's a good decision by the team. Hopefully Chris Harper gets plenty of opportunities in the hilly 1 week races, events like Paris-Nice, Criterium Dauphiné, and then let's see what Chris Harper can do potentially next year, making his debut, let's hope, at the Tour de France.
Oh, a little mini breakaway here, Matt Keenan. We've got about 5, 6, maybe 7 riders. Make that 7 away.
Chris Harper at the front. Jared Drisner is the next in line. Ben Carman in 3rd spot. Next in line, that is Reece Robotham, who's there for the Bridge Lane team. And a few serious splits being opened up within the peloton. Alex Edmondson also amongst the leaders.
I'll tell you one thing we noticed, Matt Keenan, we haven't seen a drop in pace from start to now. It's just been go, go, go. A couple of mini breaks with the speed. The average speed per lap is staying pretty constant. So these guys are on fast times. Their heart rate, as we said, up nice and high. But they're used to this kind of racing. The top and bottom end, both turn points is where all the wattage really comes on out. We are starting to see a few casualties. The pace is on. This is the Noosa Australian criterium for men. All right, make some noise out there if you are racing the 39th edition of the Noosa Tri tomorrow. Make some noise. Wow, 10,000 people, we heard 5, Matt. So maybe not as big as what we thought.
Breakaway, Pete, it's been brought back together. They couldn't quite get themselves organised to stay away. We've now got one rider going solo. Sneaky check across the shoulder. Off the front, that is Ryan Thomas, who's opened up a gap of about 4 seconds on the rest of the peloton. It's a bold move. I like it, Ryan. Chase coming from behind. That's being led by Matthew Greenwood.
Yeah, the Garmin Beach Club is alive. As to Noosa Parade, we do welcome every single athlete and their family, their friends, their supporters to the iconic Noosa Triathlon. It's a race, Matt, that you must do in your tri career.
How many times have you done it?
Out 2.
Excellent. So you've done it. You've ticked that box.
I have done it. It's like the City of Surf. You've got to have a dig at it. Just like in cycling. Melbourne, the Warrnambool, probably one of the races you've got to do, Grafton,
Yeah.
Inverell. You just got to tick the box and say, yep, I've done that race.
So we've had one of the intermediate sprints so far. There's another one still to come. The first of the intermediate sprints, that was taken out by Nick Pedler with a smart attack with about 500 metres to go. 45 minutes worth of racing plus 3 laps. They've been racing now for 20 minutes. So this could be Cam Bailey who's trying to go off the front. Sneaky move in the black colours, trying to get underneath the radar. Another solo move, and it is Cam Bailey. That is an impressive move. The chase is on from behind. And again at the front, Ryan Thomas, who was attacking the last time through. Bailey had loved some company, but only about 3 or 4. Dan Di Domenico amongst the chasers for the team of ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. Weren't they brilliant in the women's race when they got 3 riders inside the top 5 and they won the intermediate free as Lauren Perry went back-to-back.
Yeah, we're good night into Noosa tonight for our female criterium riders. Once again, all the action on the big screen. Soak it up, because tomorrow morning we've got around 10,000 plus athletes going to be assembling on Noosa Beach, ready for a 1.5 kilometre swim. Individuals, teams, it's all about Noosa. Tomorrow, the 39th edition. Big thanks to Garmin, ASICS, of course, Tourism Events Queensland, and without a doubt, the Noosa Council visiting noosa.com.au. This is Queensland.
Cam Bailey still holding off the front. The reaction is coming from Ben Carmen, who has got the title so far for mine. Ben Carmen has been the most combative in today's race. That's for now at least. James Peniza not too far behind him, and he is following the wheel of Ben Carmen. Carmen closes down the gap. Caden Groves 4th through the corner. The big sprinter wearing number 36 from Bike Exchange. He's the red-hot favourite, Pete Murray. Caden Groves is one of the fastest sprinters in the world.
It shows you the prestige this race has when you bring our Aussie riders back from overseas, back through the Europe circuit to come and race, probably wrap up their season before Christmas. It's awesome to see. And Hayden Groves, as you said, without a doubt, one of the headline acts of this Noosa Australian Criterium.
A few of them have already had their holiday. They've started their pre-season training camps.
I'll tell you what, as the sun starts to go down, the action is warming up here in Noosa. This parade coming alight with the best riders in our men's open criterium. The top end of the course, as Matt Peters said, they do use every inch of the road. Obviously, the main benefit doing that, Matt, they don't lose too much speed at the turnarounds. Saves the legs a little bit.
And the riders are at World Tour level. They've got a bond amongst each other to stay at the front, work together, but it's not a collusion in the sense of organising who's going to win it, just to make sure that they collectively stay ahead of the National Road Series riders and then sort it out themselves when it comes down to the finish.
All right, so we're going approaching right around 25 minutes into a 45-minute plus 3-lap criterium. And as we keep saying, the pace is on. Some mini attacks, no one's so successful yet, but there is a mini break. Again, we see now they coming under It's Live in Queensland.
Chris Harper causing plenty of problems at the fronts. A gap has opened up once again, marking that move. Reece Robotham once again. At the back of the group, the fluoro yellow bike, that's Craig Wiggins from WA. He's super quick. Had a horrific crash about 18 months to 24 months ago. His life was literally on the line. He's back in business in a big way. Desperation in the chase behind Pete because there's quality out in front.
I was about to say that rider trying to shut the gap. He had the mask on there and he was hardly breathing. He's put it all on. He wants to shut down this gap before there's any opportunity for these five to make a breakaway.
This is Craig Wiggins at the front. He's one of, I can't remember, there's 5 or 6 kids, and all the other kids in the family are sisters, and 2 of them really good cyclists, particularly good track cyclists. They live just out of Margaret River, so about a 3-hour drive to Perth. And when they used to go there for track cycling, he'd cut a deal with his 2 younger sisters. He negotiated down as opposed to up. Cut a deal with his 2 younger sisters. I'll take care of your bikes, I'll do all the mechanic work, you clean my bedroom. So they'd clean his bedroom and he'd fix their bikes.
I tell you what, not a bad deal. I don't know if my son and daughter would do that kind of arrangement, but anyway. So that breakaway's been shut down pretty quick, about a lap, or not even a lap, half a lap to shut that down.
And Liam Walsh did a fair bit of it too. Liam Walsh was the winner of the race last year. He's in the lime colours, fairly bright colours, middle of the pack. Giant racing team. He doesn't have any teammates there with him. He's been riding really smartly so far, Liam Walsh. He's moved himself up alongside Ben Carmen. Number 34, Liam Walsh, doing a great job. Salt and pepper, this is our vintage.
I tell you what, old school does live forever, a bit of salt and pepper.
Don't start singing, Pete, it's not karaoke.
No, I can't sing at all. I would have put the crowd through that one. Right, 7 minutes past 5. We started this race at 4:40, so we're going into 2/3 of the race. As we said, 45 minutes. And we're going to throw 3 laps to the finish line. I think for the first time we've seen the pace maybe just drop a little bit, so maybe a bit of tactics going on here, maybe a little bit of sorting out who is going to be the next breakaway.
Another move off the front, Pete. We've got a rider trying to go solo once again. Impossible to stay away from this quality peloton solo. But somebody has to attack and try to entice a few others out there with them. And the whistle sounds, for the next of the intermediate sprints. Matthew Greenwood it is, who's off the fronts on his own. The chase, the peloton being led by Tom Chapman. Let's go, Matty Greenwood.
Well, that could have changed his plan straight away. He said, I'm going to go a little mini break, and he's heard the whistle. He said, I've got about 1.5 k's. Can I hold off and get a little bonus? I got a bit of cash to go out in Noosa today.
I wonder if the commissaire had the whistle in his pocket, saw Matthew Greenwood on the charge, and figured I'll give him something to chase.
This is what it's all about. He's got racing. It's just unfolding lap per lap. He's looking back, Matt. He's trying to keep away. He's almost at the top end of this course. I tell you what, if he turns nice and early, he just has one more dig. Possibly, he could get away from the peloton, but it's a big ask so far out from home. Here's the turnaround.
Looking over his shoulder will only slow him down. Matt Greenwood around the top corner. He can glance to the left. His provisional vision will pick up the fact that it's Chris Harper yet again at the front doing the chasing. Drisner's in second.
For our lead rider, if he gets to the Garth-Proud Bridge, he could just hold on. He's been a good little attack. He probably didn't plan to be away for 2 laps or 2.5 laps, but the commissaire blew the whistle for Preem 2. He said, hey, I want some extra cash today.
Matty Greenwood onto the Garth-Proud Bridge. The sprint is opening up from behind. This is for an intermediate cash prize. Greenwood has gone long range. He keeps peering across the shoulder. He's going to hold on. He's picked up the cash. Matt Greenwood played it to perfection.
I'm not a mind reader, but I tell you what, I think he said, thank God I did that.
Fantastic move, Matt Greenwood. He picks up the cash prize. James Panizza, it was across the line in second position, followed by Jared Drisners. Well, the great Steve Monaghetti has just gone up another notch in the Keenan household, managing to get a photo with my daughter and donating his race number where he missed the world record by just a handful of seconds. How good was it, Pete, to see a 60-year-old in the ASICS Bolt and a 17-year-old in the same race? That's Noosa in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Of course, Steve Monaghetti, 4 times Olympic, 4 times Commonwealth Games representative. He put on a performance today, and I just talked to Monaghetti off air, and he's so happy with that time. He had to make up around 40 seconds from his last 5K run, and he got all so close. So going to Steve Monaghetti, a true legend in every sense of the word.
Great role model. At 60 years of age out there doing that is an example for all of us. Ben Carmen at the front once again. Caden Groves moving up the outside. Ben Carmen has been very good, Pete Murray, throughout this race. Chris Harper just behind him. Cameron Wright in third spot. Cameron Wright is quick. He could be a chance in this one.
So Matt Keenan, we're looking around 12 to 13 minutes plus 3 laps. We've had our 2 pre, so now we're getting to the business end. We see it quite often in all of these style racing. You'll see a couple of attempts at breaks, but as Matt said, you're very game to go on your own. You need to pull a couple of guys up with you to make it a very successful break. See, while going solo this far out, he's not going to work with the quality of field that we got. At the top end of the course, great big crowds as well. Great camera shot. You actually see the speed of these riders. You don't appreciate it on the big screen, but as they do ride past, you can feel that breeze You can hear the brakes here going on, even though they're disc brakes, you can still hear the sound, smell a bit of rubber, so to speak, as they go into the roundabout. Over the Gar Power Bridge, they're on their way back to town.
There are two things that TV broadcast never does justice to in a bike race. Speed and the gradients of the big mountains in events like the Tour de France, the Giro d'Italia, or the Volta d'Espagna. Cam Bailey once again on the front with distinctive black colours. He's been good, Pete. Cam Bailey has never been too far back. He's pouring the pressure on once again as we're getting down towards the business end of the race. Caden Groves responding. Liam Walsh still sitting midway through the pack, the defending champion. He's got no pressure on him though as the defending champion. He's one of the National Road Series races and he's up against the internationals. Well, Pete, there's been plenty of attempts for riders to break away, but they haven't been able to create a group of 3 or 4 that they can work with. It's just been individual riders off the front, and with the quality of this peloton, it's too hard for an individual to be able to stay away. Having said that, we've got another one who rolls the dice.
I know you travel the world, Matty, with cycling. You commentate the Tour de France, all the major cycling events. But this crit is renowned around the world. We see all our Aussie stars come home each year. They want to win here.
We've seen Peter Sagan here. He came here and did manage to get the win. Ryan Thomas again going on the attack. Jared Drisner's leading the chasing, followed by Cam Bailey. Ryan Thomas has been one of the most aggressive riders in the race. Him along with Ben Carmen, James Panizza, they've been super aggressive. Big shake of the head at the top of the course by Ryan Thomas as he saw the chase being led by Cam Bailey. Got the impression there that Thomas was disappointed that it wasn't one of the internationals that was doing the chasing, but it was one of the local riders that was closing it down. As now Ben Carmen makes another move, and that looks like Caden Groves who is marking him. It is Caden Groves. He's riding his bike for next season, Caden Groves, getting in preparation for joining that Alpecin team, Alpecin de Koenig. There's Caden Groves at the front as they make their way through. They've been racing for around about 35 minutes so far. We're getting down towards the business end. Carmen, Bailey, Edmondson. It's then Harper, followed next in line by Drisner's. And it is Dan Di Domenico who is next in line. The fluoro yellow bike from ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast. Followed then by last year's winner, Liam Walsh, in the lime colours of the Giant Racing team. Peloton is dwindling down, Pete Murray. They're dropping off the back ever so slowly. The pace, though, just again, it's too quick for anybody to get off the front.
Yeah, that's one thing we do see in this style racing, as you said. If they keep the pace on at the front, it's virtually impossible for someone to make a breakaway. We don't need one athlete or one cyclist to make the breakaway. We need to have 2 or 3 to make it realistic. You can see here, Matt, the wattage comes down, the pace comes down, but this is the grind. As they hit that apex, out of the saddle, big chain wheel, coming out of 12 gear to grind it back up to around 45, 50k an hour.
To highlight the class of Chris Harper, if you could pick the course that suits him the least in Australia, it's going to be this one. This is the style of racing that Chris Harper does not thrive at. But he's one of the best bike riders all round in the world, certainly one of the best climbers. He's a strong time trialist as well. And he's been the man in the yellow colours of Jumbo-Visma, dominating the front of the peloton. And this is his weakness. Joe Drisner's in the red colours of Lotto Soudal. The team of Caleb Ewan, the team previously of Cadel Evans, the team previously of Robbie McEwen. It's a team that's had some great sprinters. Andre Greipel previously with that team. Before that, Johan Museo. Ben Carmen again towards the front, sitting in second position. I'm sure that Ben Carmen is going to have another go at getting off the front. Not the quickest of sprinters, Ben Carmen, so he's got to make the race really, really hard. 40 minutes of racing down.
Right around 5 minutes of Grand Prix style racing. We're going to throw 3 laps to the finish. The field slowly dwindling away because we still have a massive peloton. You see now our front rider trying to call some of those riders through, say, hey, do your turn, let's keep this pace going. Into the top end of the turnaround for another lap up the top. Big crowds. Just talking to the managing director here, Ironman Oceania, Jeff Myers. He said, can't believe the crowds. Matt Keenan, it's like the old days. We're back.
We bumped into the hotel manager for the Sofitel. They have a 30-room waiting list all the way through until Easter. They are booked out big time with a huge waiting list.
Yeah, got to say big thanks to Tony from Laguna Resort. That's where a lot of us are staying. We love the place. We love Noosa. Hastings Street. I went down there this morning just to get a boost juice and it was just electric. Triathletes everywhere.
You'll never guess Pete Murray, who's on the front. Chris Harper again in the yellow colours of Jumbo-Visma.
Well, I've noticed a couple of times he keeps looking up at the Garmin Beach Club. Maybe he's got a date with the team up there. But we've still got around 5 or so minutes. 3 laps plus.
Cam Bailey's been riding really smartly. Always in the first 5 or 6 riders. At the moment he sits in second spot. He's not having to close down the gaps himself. And a few starting to drop off the back. The peloton is almost half from what we started with. A peloton at the start of somewhere in the vicinity of 40 riders.
You talked about it earlier, Matt, that elastic band. It stretches, it comes back, it stretches, it comes back, but eventually that rubber band breaks. And we can see now a couple of groups, a couple of riders, a couple of bunches now starting to sort their own race out. But our lead bunch on the big screen of the Noosa Australian Criterium, we have around probably 25 or so, Matt Keenan.
Yeah, down to maybe 20-plus riders still remain in the peloton, being led by Chris Harper. Liam Walsh has now moved himself, Pete, up into 4th position. Last year's winner. There's been a fall right in the middle of the peloton. Incredibly, just the one rider going down.
Yeah, so he'll come under the discretion of the commissaire. He'll have that lap to sit out, so hopefully nothing's wrong.
That's Ryan
mechanically
Thomas.
wise or physically wise.
Ryan Thomas, who's been off the front 3 or 4 times. He's really tried in this race, Ryan Thomas.
All right, Chris Harper, he's been at the front of this group for at least 1 or 2 laps. What's the plan you're thinking here, Matt? Why is he sitting up there on the front there? Is he controlling the group? Is he keeping the pace up so no breakaways and possibly until the final 3 laps?
He's keeping the race safe. Amongst the riders that ride at World Tour level, the highest level in world cycling, he's the non-sprinter. The rest of them are quick. So he's doing them a favour. He's just back into training after his holiday, and he's giving the engine a bit of a workover. He's in his final race for Jumbo-Visma. He's making sure he shows those colours at the front.
All right, we're very, very close to the 45-minute mark. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear the whistle for the final 3 laps.
Looking at the commissaires, Pete, see if I can make eye contact with them. We're going to be close to the 3-lap board, surely.
I tell you what, Matty, you've nailed it on the head every other time. I'd be very surprised if you're wrong. This could possibly be the whistle lap. 3 laps to go, and we've still got anyone's race to unfold.
If they don't put up the board, I'm not wrong. They've made a mistake. I'm joking. We are getting down towards the business end. Jared Drisners now is the man who is on the front in the red colours of Lotto Soudal. They've been racing for 44 minutes. Have they? Yes, they have. 3 laps to go this time through. 3 laps remaining. Cam Bailey on the front of the black colours. He's been very good throughout the race. Alex Edmondson wears number 1, followed by Caden Groves, an additional starter in the race. 4 World Tour riders have themselves in the lead positions. Behind them, in the lime colours, Giant Racing, the defending champion, Liam Walsh, is in with a big chance.
Yeah, count around 20 riders to go, so 3 laps or around 4.5 kilometres to go. This is what it's all about, the Australian criterium for men here in beautiful Noosa. We had to come down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Stay trackside because we are going to witness one amazing finish. They're riding on the red line. You possibly see a couple of attacks here trying to get away. They're going to try. Here's one as we speak.
It looks like it is James Panizzi once again from Bridge Lane. He has been really aggressive. Good move by the rider from the Bridge Lane team, trying to squeeze his way off the front. This is the Australian team that has delivered more riders than any other squad up to the World Tour level. And it all got started with Richie Port, who at the end of this season has retired.
Yeah, Australian cycling, sorry, Matt, on the rise, not just here in Australia, but throughout the world. All the big teams are picking up our Aussie riders. So much success. As I said before, it's great to see some of those stars return to Oz to wrap up or even start their 2023 year.
Cam Bailey at the front, followed by Harper. It's then Drisners, Caden Groves, Alex Edmondson. 2 laps remaining. The Noosa Australian Open. Walsh in the lime colours. Behind him, Wiggo, Craig Wiggins. And Blake Quick, who are yet to mention, is in there as well. He sits in 8th spot. Blake Quick, earlier this year in Buninyong, he won the Australian Under-23 title, and he is a fast sprinter.
All right, so at the top end of the course, when they come through underneath this line in Queensland Arch, you'll hear the bell ring for one final lap. It comes down to this after 45 minutes and 3 laps. We've got 1 lap to go, so it's going to be all about Matt Keenan.
And they are flying. They're doing more than 50 kilometres per hour. Jared Drisners, the former Australian Under-23 champion, on the front. He won the King of the Mountains title at the Tour of Poland this year. There's no mountain here. There's just the Garth Proud Bridge and a bunch of sprinters queuing up behind him. Drisners with a look across the shoulder. They'll get the bell this time through. Harper in 2nd spot. Edmondson followed then by Groves. The defending champion Walsh is in with a chance. Wiggins is in the mix. He's followed by Bailey.
All right, Noosa, let's make some noise for the final time as they head out onto this lap. The best of the best, 45 minutes and 1 lap to go. All right, Stephen Robb, he's right at the finish line, a bit of a mechanical issue. Let's get him going, guys. Come on, pump it up for Stevie Robb. What an unfortunate place for a mechanical issue, but the race is up front, Matt Keenan.
At the head of the race, it's Harper with the throttle fully open. He's followed by his neighbour, Alex Edmondson. They grew up together in the hills of Adelaide, and they finished first and second a few years ago at the Australian Championships. It's then Caden Groves, Jared Drisners. Craig Wiggins is moving up the inside. Liam Walsh just behind him. The battle for position, the elbows are out. Harper still charging. Drisner's trying to stick with him. Edmondson in second spot. A triple world champion on the track and an Olympic silver medalist. Ben Carman coming through as Walsh latches on to the outside. Groves is fighting for his position. It's Carman who goes early. The defending champion Walsh is trying to stick with them. Edmondson opens up first. Caden Groves with the challenge coming from behind. It's Groves on the white bike charging through. Wiggins is still with him. Wiggins versus Groves. Wiggins! Wiggins with the win, we think. We'll wait for confirmation. Wiggo, the wonder from WA.
He nearly hit the wall. Slammed the brakes on. I think he's still celebrating. Holy crap. You're back. Liberation.
Confirmation. Craig Wiggins takes the win by a whisker. We're going to have a chat to him on the finish line. ARA Pro Racing Sunshine goes to the double. It was Lauren Perry who won the women's race. We go with a hug from the Commonwealth Games gold medalist Ben Kirsten. The season just gets better.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was a tough one, but yeah, that was awesome. And the crowd, the atmosphere, man, that was an awesome race.
When did you know you had it? Because we didn't until we saw the photo.
I thought at the top of the bridge, I saw Caden kick early and I was like, oh, this is good. I learned a lot in Langkawi. One of the stages I went way too early, so I was like, just be patient, trust the kick, and you only have to win by an inch, and I got there.
So the guy who's won this race the most, Robbie McEwen, he's won it 8 times. I remember seeing you ride with him in Margaret River. What does it mean to you to join the honour roll with Robbie McEwen?
Oh, I still got a long way to go to get to his level, but yeah, it's a step in the right direction for sure.
Plenty of confidence for 2023 now.
Yeah, hopefully this helps a lot, and keen for what's to come.
And finally, this team won the women's race. You've won the men's race as a team. It's been a great year for the squad and another new sponsor.
Yeah, a new sponsor's coming on board. It'll really help the under-23 riders next year. So we've left a pretty high standard this year, so keen to see them beat that.
Well, after you won that stage, the Tour of Langkawi, I got a message from Phil Liggett. What can you tell me about Craig Wiggins? I'm going to send him a message and saying he just keeps on winning. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Put your hands together for Craig Wiggins. We'll be back for the presentation shortly. We're getting all the riders organised. Let's hear from a few of our sponsors.
When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this when no one's here. like this. Mama told me there'll be days like this.
Training program, week 3, day 4. Training program, week 5, day 2.
Week 6, day 4.
I feel a strong connection.
It echoes in your mind.
It's like you feel the energy in return.
Pushes you forward. You sense its power.
As you exceed your limits.
Criterium was a heart stopper for those of us watching. What about the guy who finished second, Caden Groves? You've had a nice holiday. What a way to get back into racing.
Yeah, exactly. Off-season done now. And now the preparation begins for the next season, and couldn't think of a better way to start than a nice week here in Noosa.
Second day back on the bike. How's the heart rate? You look like you're still at about 155.
Probably, I took it off the screen, so I wasn't looking at that. I was just riding to the time today, and yeah, enjoying it.
Obviously not ideal to finish in second position, but what today shows us is how good the National Road Series standard is for a guy like Craig Wiggins to beat a whole bunch of World Tour riders.
For sure, I mean, he should take a lot of confidence from that. This is a pretty brutal course, and I know he come off some nice results in Langkawi and a win there, and it's nice for him to win again.
And for you, big win this season, particularly in Spain at the Vuelta.
Yeah, it's been a pretty fantastic season. I think I made a step to the top level, and got some new goals for next year, and I'm pretty keen to achieve them as well.
Next year, Alpecin-de-Koning, what are the objectives? Do you care to share?
Oh, I mean, going there as a head sprinter with Jasper Philipsen, and yeah, well, this year probably target the classics and another Grand Tour.
Right. Awesome season. Thanks for coming here and racing. You take it to another level. Congratulations on second. You've shown your class by finishing second in your second ride back after the off-season.
Yeah, also thank you to everyone who makes this weekend possible and the organisations and sponsors behind it.
Awesome, mate. Join us in a moment. We're going to get the presentations underway. Caden Groves, brilliant couple of victories this year in Spain. One at the Volta Catalunya, the other one at the Volta de España. Off to a new team next year, along with Jasper Philipsen, the big sprinter at Alpecin-de-Koning. And that is the team of Matthew van der Poel. It's a big squad, and they're stepping up now to the World Tour level. It was great to have him here racing, along with his teammate Alex Edmondson. Craig Wiggins has finally finished celebrating with the owners of the ARA Pro Racing Sunshine Coast team. We're waiting on Mayor Claire Stewart. I think she's on her way down to assist with the presentations, so we're going to get those underway. Come with me. The roads will be opening up shortly. We're going to get things started with making the presentations for the first intermediate preem and then the second intermediate preem. Councillor Claire Stewart, we're ready to go? We are ready to go. First up, with the intermediate sprint, the first of the preems, it was Nick Pedler who took it out with a very smart move. Put your hands together for Nick.
Yeah, just over there.
Well done, Nick. Brilliant performance. And the second of the intermediate preems that was taken out by Matthew Greenwood, who also made a courageous move to get off the front. Well done, Matthew. Now we're bringing up our top 5 places. In 5th place today was the guy that might take the total for the most combative on today's race. So many attacks. Put your hands together for Ben Carmen. In 4th position, the defending champion. I thought he rode a flawless race. It was a brilliant performance. Put your hands together for Liam Walsh. In 3rd place, he had the distinction of wearing number 1, triple world champion, Olympic silver medalist, Alex Edmondson. In 2nd position, one of the fastest road sprinters in the world, a stage winner this year at the Volta de España from Bike Exchange, Caden Groves. And the winner of the Australian Open Criterium in Noosa joined a distinguished honour roll all the way from WA with winning as a habit. Put your hands together for Craig Wiggins. It's photo time now for the top place getters in the Australian Open Criterium. Not surprisingly, the man in the middle, Pete Murray, has got the biggest smile of all of them. Craig Wiggins, fantastic performance, a stage winner recently at the Tour of Langkawi. The only guy with the biggest smile, I reckon, is Matt Wilson or maybe Ben Kirsten, the owners of that team.
Yes.
1-2.
It is champagne time. And Liam Walsh is moving faster than he did in the sprints to try and get away from the champagne. Well, Pete, the race is done for Super Saturday. The riders from the Criterium, they make their way off to enjoy a Saturday night because they've got no pressure for Sunday morning. The action, though, it kicks off nice and early on Sunday morning, Pete. We're underway tomorrow at 5:45 with the broadcast.
Yeah, before Sunday, what a day it was today. Super Saturday, as said, tomorrow morning, 39th edition, nice and early. You can follow it all live as we did today, and we are ready. Big questions tomorrow. Male champion, female champion, number 9. Is it possible?
Absolutely, it's possible. Ashley Gentle is the biggest story for me tomorrow. Luke William, can he go back-to-back? He's looking for his 2nd. Jake Birtwistle is out there as well, aiming for a 3rd. Max Newman on the back of 3 Ironman wins in Cairns, 3 years in a row, 4th at Kona. Great stories. But Ashley Gentle aiming for number 9. She doesn't like to share any of those prizes.
Oh, it's going to be awesome racing, and let's bring it on. 39th edition. Let's do it.
Looking forward to it. Join us tomorrow at 5:45 as the broadcast gets underway on all the social media channels with the Ironman and also with the Noosa Triathlon. Share your photos as well on social media, and for everybody participating in the event, those in the teams, the age groupers, smiling for Smitty, good luck. Join Pete Murray and me, Matt Keenan, tomorrow at 5:45 for more from the 39th edition of the Garmin Noosa Triathlon.